Chapter 1730. I know that you have set up a seal near Mo Yang's soul. Once you search his soul will be destroyed. Unfortunately, you still underestimated me. Lu Ming smiled faintly. His smile made the Sky Universe Demon Sect leader's face turn even uglier. You are still too inexperienced to deceive me in front of me. Let go of Yang. The Sky Universe Demon Sect leader sneered and stepped forward. Stop right there. Take one more step, and I will kill him. Lu Ming said coldly as he held Mo Yang's neck. At the same time, he retreated. Since you don't believe me, then I will make it public. The Sky Universe Demon Sect is a remnant of the Evil Spirit Sect. At the bottom of the Demon Mountain, there is an Evil Spirit Sect guardian. The people of the Intentionless Saber Sect are also hiding in the Sky Universe Demon Sect. Lu Ming said as he retreated. His voice spread throughout the entire place. As soon as he said this, the entire place fell silent. Many people widened their eyes in shock as they looked at the Sky Universe Demon Sect leader. The Sky Universe Demon Sect is a remnant of the Evil Spirit Sect? Is this true? Boom. The Celestial God Sect leader's body emitted a dazzling holy light. He looked at the Sky Universe Demon Sect leader coldly and asked, "Is what Lu Ming said true?" Nonsense. How could you believe such a clumsy plan to drive a wedge between us? The Sky Universe Demon Sect leader said coldly. His face was extremely gloomy. The Celestial God Sect leader's face kept changing. Perhaps this is really Lu Ming's plan to drive a wedge between us. If I want to verify whether it is true or not, I just need to search Mo Yang's soul again and project the images in his memory. Then, won't it be clear? Everyone, do you want to see it? It will be very exciting. Lu Ming smiled. He then lifted Mo Yang up and reached out to touch his forehead, as if he was going to search his soul again. What are you trying to do? You want to harm Yang? You must have a death wish. The Sky Universe Demon Sect leader shouted as he stretched out his claws. A huge demonic claw formed and grabbed at Lu Ming. The demonic claw emitted a terrifying steam. He wanted to kill Lu Ming and Mo Yang together to destroy the evidence. Whoosh! In the sky, a resplendent sword radiance slashed down and split the demonic claw in half. The sword radiance receded and a figure appeared beside Lu Ming. It was the Cloud Dragon Valley Master. What? Are you afraid that your identity as an Evil Spirit Sect member will be exposed? The Cloud Dragon Valley Master said. Yunruaksu, you've really come. Everyone, let's attack together and kill them, then destroy Dragon God Valley. The Sky Universe Devil Sect Master shouted. I think that we should search Mo Yang's soul first and see what's going on. The Sect Master of the Heavenly God Sect said coldly. Although he also wanted to kill Lu Ming and the Cloud Dragon Valley Master, compared to the matter of the Evil Spirit Sect, he could only put Lu Ming aside. If the Heavenly Universe Demon Sect was really a remnant of the Evil Spirit Sect, and if what Lu Ming said was true, then the situation was serious. It was obvious that the Heavenly Universe Demon Sect was using them to stir up internal strife in the Tsang state. If things went wrong, the Celestial Sect would be destroyed. Such a major matter had to be clarified first. That's right. Search their souls first. If what Lu Ming said is false, then it won't be too late to kill them. The 9 Heaven Sword Sects Sect Master also spoke. The Heavenly Universe Devil Sects Sect Master's expression changed. He then said coldly, "All right, let them search their souls. The innocent will know that they are innocent. It won't be too late to kill them after we prove the innocence of the Heavenly Universe Devil Sect. Lu Ming, search their souls." The Heavenly Universe Devil Sects Sect Master stepped back, and his expression returned to normal. He looked as if he had a clear conscience. "All right, Master, search their souls and project the images." Lu Ming mentioned Mo Yang to the Cloud Dragon Valley Master. "All right." The Cloud Dragon Valley Master nodded and reached out to touch Mo Yang's forehead. "Do it." At that moment, the Heavenly Universe Devil Sects Sect Master suddenly roared and attacked. He blasted his palm toward the Celestial Sect Master beside him. At the same time, countless people in the crowd attacked. Terrifying attacks were directed toward the people beside them. The Celestial Sect Master was shocked. At the critical moment, He blasted out a move with all his might and blocked the attack of the Heavenly Universe Devil Sect's Sect Master. However, he was pushed back and spat out a mouthful of blood. In his haste, he couldn't completely block the other party's attack. The Celestial Sect Master was more vigilant. Those who were less vigilant were killed immediately. Screams of agony were heard at the scene. In the Celestial Sect, an unwilling roar resounded through the sky. This roar came from another absolute saint of the Celestial Sect. This time, there were two absolute saints from the Celestial Sect. Beside him, the housemaster of the Blood Demon House attacked him. Terrifying sword light directly shattered his saint heart. The sword light burst forth, and this absolute saint of the Celestial Sect fell. In addition, the Desire Poison Sect's experts also attacked the Demonic Moon Sect and 9 Heaven Sword Sect's experts. The Demonic Moon Sect's Sect Master was severely injured. Fortunately, he reacted in time and wasn't killed. In an instant, many experts of the Celestial Sect, 9 Heaven Sword Sect, and Demonic Moon Sect were killed. Blood Demon House, Desire Poison Sect, you are all traitors. The Celestial Sect Master roared. Lu Ming was right. You are indeed the remnants of the Evil Spirit Sect. The 9 Heaven Sword Sect's Sect Master roared. They had suffered too great a loss just now. Ever since Lu Ming said that the Heavenly Universe Devil Sect was the remnants of the Evil Spirit Sect, they had more or less become wary of the Heavenly Universe Devil Sect. However, they never expected that the Desire Poison Sect and the Blood Demon House were jackals of the same tribe. They finally attacked. Lu Ming's lips curled into a cold smile. This was his plan. He would use the excuse of searching Mo Yang's soul to blackmail the Heavenly Universe Devil Sect into attacking. The plan was very successful. As expected, the Heavenly Universe Devil Sect's Sect Master didn't dare to take the risk and attacked directly. However, he didn't expect the Blood Demon House and the Desire Poison Sect to be jackals of the same tribe. Kill, kill, kill them all. The Heavenly Universe Devil Sect Master roared. His voice was incomparably cold as he unleashed a torrential attack on the Celestial Sect Master. The Celestial Sect, 9 Heaven Sword Sect, and Demonic Moon Sect's forces were originally very strong. They were not weaker than the Heavenly Universe Devil Sect, Blood Demon House, and Desire Poison Sect. However, the sneak attack just now had killed one of the Celestial Sect's absolute saints. The Demonic Moon Sect's Sect Master was severely injured, and the 9 Heaven Sword Sect's other absolute saint was also severely injured. They were in imminent danger. Only the 9 Heaven Sword Sect's Sect Master could maintain his peak strength. As for the Great Sages and Bright Sages, they had suffered heavy losses. The situation was extremely unfavorable. Kill, kill. At this moment, a large number of figures rushed out from another demonic mountain and charged over. The intentionless Saber Sect is indeed here. There are also people from the Evil Spirit Sect. There are 4 absolute saints. Someone exclaimed, revealing a look of despair. One could tell at a glance that the people who had rushed out were divided into 2 groups. One group was from the intentionless Saber Sect, led by 2 absolute saints. The other group was dressed in black robes and should be experts from the Evil Spirit Sect. The 2 people in the lead were also absolute saints. The people from the Celestial Sect, 9 Heaven Sword Sect, and Demonic Moon Sect all revealed looks of despair. Ming-er, take care of yourself, the Cloud Dragon Valley Master said to Lu Ming. Then, he wielded his sword and charged toward the Evil Spirit Sect experts. Roar! Chapter 1731. Dragon God Valley's Patriarch Ice Dragon. The expressions of the 2 powerhouses from the intentionless Saber Sect changed drastically. They slashed out a terrifying saber light toward Patriarch Ice Dragon. Swoosh! A black and white sword chi tore through the void and slashed toward the Blood Demon Tower's master. Then, with a loud roar, a sun lion appeared. Then, Ice Dragon Valley's master also appeared and joined the battle. Although the Heavenly God Sect and the other major sects had discussed before to destroy Dragon God Valley, they couldn't leave them in the lurch now. If all the powerhouses of the Heavenly God Sect, 9 Heaven Sword Sect, and Demonic Moon Sect died here, then the remaining forces in the Tsang state would be greatly weakened. This was exactly what the evil spirit sect wanted. They had to join forces to deal with the evil spirit sect now. The scene fell into a chaotic battle. Many absolute saints flew into the sky and fought. That was because a battle between paragon sages was too terrifying. The energy that leaked out could kill great sages and bright sages, let alone those below the sage realm. Both sides had disciples below, and if they fought with everything they had, the disciples of both sides would be wiped out. The absolute saints flew into the sky and fought. Below, the others were fighting in a chaotic battle. Miserable screams constantly sounded, and it was incomparably tragic. Shao Qing is in that demonic mountain. Lu Ming looked around. According to the scene he had seen in Mo Yang's memory, Lu Ming's gaze fell on the place where many sects had gathered. Xian Yanqing was imprisoned under that demonic mountain. The evil spirit sect's blood demon king soul was also below. Lu Ming stepped forward. Sacred weapons surrounded his body. He held a battle sword in his hand and slashed out. A saint of the Sky Universe demon sect was killed by him. Poof. Then, with another slash, he killed a saint of the Desire Poison sect. After killing a few people in a row, Lu Ming didn't continue fighting. He used the wind thunder steps and flashed toward the demonic mountain. Lu Ming died. With a loud roar, a middle-aged burly man charged toward Lu Ming with a demonic saber in his hand. His aura was extremely shocking. This was a great saint. He was even stronger than the burly old man who had fought with Lu Ming. Lu Ming brandished his sword and slashed out with all his might. Clang! Lu Ming's saber light directly smashed through Lu Ming's sword light and landed on his battle sword. Lu Ming felt an irresistible force surging towards him. His body retreated continuously as his blood and qi churned. A mouthful of blood flowed out from the corner of his mouth. Great sage, great success. This was a great sage, great mastery powerhouse. He was extremely powerful. Lu Ming was no match for him at all. Cripple him first, then force him to tell us his secret after the battle. A few more people appeared and blocked in front of Lu Ming. All of them were great sage realm powerhouses. One of them was the burly old man who fought with Lu Ming previously. His eyes were exceptionally cold. There were 4 great sages in total. It was almost impossible for Lu Ming to defeat them. The auras of 4 great sages erupted as they bore down on Lu Ming. Since you're courting death, I'll fulfill your wish, Lu Ming said coldly. The sacred weapons around him all flew into Lu Ming's body and disappeared. A large halberd appeared in Lu Ming's hand. The reincarnation halberd. True essence surged into the reincarnation halberd. An energy was stimulated. A layer of black light suddenly appeared on the reincarnation halberd. You still want to kill us? Die. The burly middle-aged man slashed his saber at Lu Ming again. Kill. Lu Ming held the reincarnation halberd and slashed out forcefully. With a clang, the saber in the burly middle-aged man's hand was directly cut into 2 by the reincarnation halberd. The reincarnation halberd did not stop. With another slash, the burly middle-aged man's body split from the middle. A great sage, great mastery powerhouse had fallen. The other 3 great sages were almost scared to death. That was a great sage powerhouse. He was directly killed by Lu Ming's halberd. Even the demonic saber, a great sage weapon, was cut into 2. How could this be? Retreat. Retreat. There was only one thought in their minds, and that was to retreat. The further away they were from Lu Ming, the better. It's too late to leave now. Kill. Lu Ming shouted. The reincarnation halberd slashed out horizontally. A black light flashed out. The bodies of the 3 great sages directly stiffened. Their eyeballs popped out, revealing a horrified expression. Then, their bodies were directly torn into pieces, and their souls were obliterated. 3 great sages were killed in one move. The others nearby were scared out of their wits. They frantically retreated, distancing themselves from Lu Ming. Lu Ming stepped forward and continued to head toward the demonic mountain. On the way, there were hundreds of people from the intentionless saber sect and the evil spirit sect blocking the way. They were directly killed by Lu Ming's halberd. Hundreds of people were instantly killed. Lu Ming was bathed in blood. Like a demon god, he arrived in front of the demon mountain. Open for me. Lu Ming held the reincarnation halberd with both hands and raised it high. The reincarnation halberd rapidly enlarged and then slashed down heavily on the demon mountain. This halberd was like the halberd of a god. When it slashed down, the huge palace on the demon mountain directly exploded. Rumble. The majestic demon mountain let out a loud sound under the reincarnation halberd. Then, it was directly split into two. Huge rocks flew everywhere as if it was the end of the world. The demon mountain was split open, revealing the underground cave under the demon mountain. Who's there? A sharp voice resounded through the sky. In the underground cave, blood mist gathered and formed a huge human face. Xian Yinqing sat there cross-legged, motionless, as if he was completely unaware of everything outside. Little Qing. Lu Ming's heart trembled. He didn't expect to see Xian Yinqing again in such a place under such circumstances. Sky Universe Demon Sect and Evil Spirit Sect should be destroyed. Kill them. Lu Ming's eyes were filled with a layer of blood red, and his killing intent was incomparably strong. Brat, you're courting death. A loud shout rang out, and a black-robed elder rushed out of the underground cave. His entire body was filled with demonic qi, and his aura was extremely terrifying. This was an absolute saint. The Sky Universe Demon Sect had specially called an absolute saint to guard this underground cave. Kill him. The huge face formed by the Blood Demon King screamed. Die. The absolute saint of the Sky Universe Demon Sect grabbed at Lu Ming with his demonic qi. The terrifying demonic claw was even bigger than a mountain. Not to mention an absolute saint. Even a perfected supreme saint would be killed by this claw. But Lu Ming didn't change. He was still indifferent. He stepped out and said in a cold voice, "You're the one who's going to die." The reincarnation halberd enlarged and slashed out. The demonic claw formed by the absolute saint of the Sky Universe Demon Sect was directly shattered. The reincarnation halberd didn't stop. It continued to slash at the absolute saint of the Sky Universe Demon Sect. How is this possible? The absolute saint of the Sky Universe Demon Sect's eyes widened. He realized that he was completely locked on by the reincarnation halberd. There seemed to be a force of reincarnation that made it impossible for him to dodge. He could only take it head-on. He roared and continuously slapped out with both hands. In an instant, he slapped out hundreds of times. Hundreds of palm prints gathered and formed a demonic palm print that blasted toward the reincarnation halberd. But it was all in vain. The reincarnation halberd slashed down, and the demonic palm print collapsed. The reincarnation halberd struck the absolute saint of the Sky Universe Demon Sect with unparalleled force. The absolute saint let out a shrill scream that echoed throughout the Sky Universe Demon Sect. Then, he was split in half by Lu Ming, and even his soul was annihilated. Chapter 1732. This scene was witnessed by everyone present. Everyone's hearts trembled, especially those from the Sky Universe Demon Sect and the Poison Sect. They were almost scared to death. Lu Ming had killed an absolute saint with a single halberd strike. How could Lu Ming be so powerful? Damn it! Damn it! How can this little bastard control such terrifying power? The Sky Universe Demon Sect Master was the most shocked. He screamed in his heart, and his face was extremely distorted. Ha ha ha, well done. The remnants of the evil spirit sect are destined to be destroyed again. Valley Master Yunkong laughed loudly. His sword light was like a dragon, forcing an evil spirit sect absolute saint to retreat. How is this possible? The Blood Demon King's huge face also screamed. Blood Demon King, I'll kill you now. Lu Ming held the reincarnation halberd and charged toward the Blood Demon King. The reincarnation halberd could kill anyone below the arch level. Although the Blood Demon King was at the arch at his peak, now that he was only left with a wisp of his soul, he could still kill him. Damn it, a bunch of trash. I can only take over his body first. The Blood Demon King roared and turned into a ray of bloodlight, rushing into Xian Yinqing's glabella. Oh no! Lu Ming's expression changed as he rushed toward Xian Yinqing. Little Qing, wake up! Lu Ming shouted loudly. His voice was like thunder in spring, but it was useless. Xian Yinqing did not wake up. Moreover, A layer of blood light spread out from Xian Yinqing's body. Her body trembled slightly, and a pained expression appeared on her face. Lu Ming was extremely anxious. It was obvious that the Blood Demon King was trying to take over Xian Yinqing's body. He wanted to destroy Xian Yinqing's spiritual will and replace it. Lu Ming would never let such a thing happen. I'll go all out. Lu Ming's eyes revealed a trace of determination. Then, he took a step forward and activated the array formation laws. Countless runes appeared on the ground. Runes were not inscriptions. They were of a higher level. Only those who had comprehended the power of laws could release them. A large array enveloped Lu Ming. Then, he sat down cross-legged. His glabella shone, and a small figure appeared. It was Lu Ming's soul. Lu Ming's soul rushed towards Xian Yinqing's glabella and entered Xian Yinqing's glabella. In the next moment, Lu Ming's soul appeared in a boundless place. This place was Xian Yinqing's sea of consciousness. As soon as Lu Ming entered, he saw Xian Yinqing's figure. At this moment, Xian Yinqing was shrouded in a bloody mist. Little Qing. Lu Ming roared and rushed over. The figure of Xian Yinqing was not Xian Yinqing's soul. Xian Yinqing had not broken through to the saint realm and had not condensed a soul. It was Xian Yinqing's spiritual will. One spiritual will could project a form in one sea of consciousness. Lu Ming had been able to project a form in his sea of consciousness since a long time ago. However, it was impossible for his soul to enter another sea of consciousness like Lu Ming. Once one spiritual will broke through to the saint realm, it would condense a soul. If the Blood Demon King refined Xian Yinqing's spiritual will, Xian Yinqing would disappear from the world. Lu Ming, Xian Yinqing exclaimed. She did not expect Lu Ming to come to her sea of consciousness. Blood Demon King, die. Lu Ming turned into a ray of light and rushed towards the Blood Demon King. With a slash of his palm, he operated the law of primal chaos and slashed at the Blood Demon King's soul. The law was mastered through comprehension. It borrowed the law of heaven and earth and was not one's own energy. Therefore, the soul could also use the law. Boy, you're courting death. The Blood Demon King shouted coldly and condensed into a human form. It was the form of an old woman. She stretched out a withered claw and grabbed at Lu Ming. Bang! Lu Ming's palm struck the Blood Demon King's claw. Suddenly, he felt a terrible power surging, as if it wanted to tear Lu Ming's arm apart. Lu Ming's figure retreated quickly. The law of primal chaos continued to operate to obliterate this power. Although the Blood Demon King was only a remnant soul, she was an emperor-level existence in her heyday. Her foundation was too strong. Lu Ming could not compete with her now. Even if Lu Ming's soul power was equivalent to the Great Saint Realm, it was useless. Boy, not only will you not be able to save this girl today, even you will have to stay here. The Blood Demon King sneered. Her figure floated towards Lu Ming. Her withered claw continued to grab at Lu Ming. Divine Sword Art. Lu Ming's heart stirred. He activated the Divine Sword Art. His entire body turned into a sword, a soul sword, and slashed at the Blood Demon King. It's actually the Divine Sword Art that destroys souls. Unfortunately, your soul power is too weak. The Blood Demon King sneered. His claws grabbed the soul combat sword that Lu Ming had transformed into. There was a sound of metal clashing, and the soul combat sword that Lu Ming had transformed into was sent flying. Whoosh! The soul sword turned back into Lu Ming's appearance. Lu Ming's figure flashed and appeared beside Xian Yinqing. Little Qing, are you all right? Lu Ming looked at Xian Yinqing worriedly. I'm fine. Lu Ming, why are you here? Quickly, leave this place. Xian Yinqing said anxiously. Silly girl, what nonsense are you talking about? If you're in danger, why would I leave? I'm escaping alone. If I die today, we'll die together. Lu Ming said, full of tenderness. Then I'll send you on your way. I'll let you be a pair of mandarin ducks. The Blood Demon King sneered and attacked the two of them. His claw grabbed at the two of them. This is my sea of consciousness. Get out. Xian Yinqing shouted. Her spiritual will glowed. There was a terrifying fluctuation that spread towards the Blood Demon King. The Blood Demon King's eyes were solemn. His claws kept clawing out, breaking the invisible fluctuation. It wasn't that easy to take over. Just like Xian Yinqing said, this was her sea of consciousness. In her sea of consciousness, Xian Yinqing himself could unleash a terrifying power to obliterate souls from the outside world. Therefore, the Blood Demon King had always wanted to devour and refine more souls to strengthen his own soul. Then, he began to take over Xian Yinqing. But now, he was forced to take over in advance. Kill. Lu Ming continued to use the divine sword art and turned into a divine sword. He cooperated with Xian Yinqing to fight against the Blood Demon King. At this time, the battle outside was getting more and more intense. A large number of experts fell here forever. Their blood dyed the demon mountain red. When the Sky Universe Demon Sect Master saw Lu Ming's soul enter Xian Yinqing's body, he became anxious. All of you, go and kill Lu Ming. Quick! The Sky Universe Demon Sect Master shouted. Suddenly, a few great saints pounced on Lu Ming. You're courting death. With a long roar, sword light pierced through the sky. 2 great saints were killed instantly. With a flash of sword light, the Cloud Dragon Valley Master appeared beside Lu Ming and blocked him with his sword. Kill. You must kill Lu Ming and let the Blood Demon King succeed in taking over. The Sky Universe Demon Sect Master screamed. All of this involved her future. If the Blood Demon King succeeded, she would have a chance to become an emperor. She couldn't let Lu Ming ruin it. The Sky Universe Demon Sect Master used all his strength to defeat his opponent and rushed toward the Cloud Dragon Valley Master. At the same time, 2 other Absolute Saints also rushed toward the Cloud Dragon Valley Master. Chapter 1733. The Evil Spirit Sect, including the Sky Universe Demon Sect, the Poison Sect, and the Blood Demon House, had a total of 11 Supreme Saints. As for the Cloud Dragon Valley Master's side, there were originally 5 of them, including the Absolute Saints from the Heavenly God Sect, the Demonic Moon Sect, and the 9 Heaven Sword Sect. There were 9 of them. However, 2 of them had been severely injured by the sneak attack, so the situation was not good for the Cloud Dragon Valley Master's side. Cloud Dragon 9 appearances. The Cloud Dragon Valley Master kept slashing with his sword. The sword light turned into 9 cloud dragons that flew out and blocked the Absolute Saints in the air. However, the Absolute Saints attacked with all their might and defeated the cloud dragons one after another. Although the Cloud Dragon Valley Master was strong, he was only one person after all. It was difficult for him to stop the joint attack of several people. Kill! Kill! The Absolute Saints shouted. They controlled the laws and used their divine powers to form a terrifying attack power that poured toward the Cloud Dragon Valley Master. Among them, there were also people with terrifying combat power who were not much weaker than the Cloud Dragon Valley Master. Roar! With a dragon roar, Patriarch Ice Dragon rushed over with a terrifying cold current. He sent an Absolute Saint flying with one move, almost freezing him. Get lost! Ice Dragon roared and clawed. The other 2 Absolute Saints were also forced back by Ice Dragon. Patriarch Ice Dragon and the Cloud Dragon Valley Master stood together to protect Lu Ming and Xian Yinqing. Charge! The Sky Universe Demon Sect Master screamed. At least 5 Absolute Saints charged toward Lu Ming. However, the Cloud Dragon Valley Master and Patriarch Ice Dragon didn't want to win. They just wanted to avoid mistakes. They guarded tightly, so the other party couldn't rush over for a while. Meanwhile, in Xian Yinqing's mind, the battle had reached its climax. The Blood Demon Patriarch was the arch after all. Even though he only had a remnant soul left, he was still extremely terrifying. Lu Ming and Xian Yinqing were no match for him. They were surrounded by the Blood Demon Patriarch, who had turned into a ball of bloody light. The bloody light contained the power of laws. She wanted to refine Lu Ming and Xian Yinqing together. Heh, heh, heh. Your fate is already sealed. Just accept your fate obediently. The Blood Demon King let out a shrill laugh. Blood mist filled the air. Lu Ming felt a tearing pain come from his soul. As for Xian Yinqing's spiritual will body, it trembled as if it could not withstand it any longer. Little Qing. Lu Ming was unwilling to give up. His soul transformed into a long sword and constantly slashed at the blood mist around him. Unfortunately, as the battle continued, Lu Ming's soul power grew weaker and weaker. He could no longer deal any fatal damage to the Blood Demon King. Struggle. Struggle with all your might. This is your last chance. The Blood Demon King laughed. She seemed to enjoy watching Lu Ming and the others struggle. At this moment, Lu Ming's spine emitted a bloody light. Then, the prison-suppressing steel's bloodline appeared. With a swoosh, the prison-suppressing steel bloodline rushed into Xian Yinqing's forehead and into Xian Yinqing's sea of consciousness. Wang. As soon as it entered Xian Yinqing's sea of consciousness, the prison-suppressing steel changed rapidly like a mountain. Below, the two words prison-suppressing steel emitted a bright light and suppressed the Blood Demon King. Prison-suppressing steel. How is this possible? The Blood Demon King screamed. Boom. Under the suppression of the prison-suppressing steel, the Blood Demon King let out a blood-curdling scream. The blood mist tumbled and reformed into the form of an old woman. Her face was filled with shock and horror. Wang. The prison-suppressing steel grew bigger and bigger. The two words seemed to have infinite power as it suppressed the Blood Demon King again. The Blood Demon King screamed and retreated rapidly. However, it was useless. She seemed to have been locked down by the steel and had nowhere to run. Boom. This time, the Blood Devil King's body directly exploded. Clumps of soul power were obliterated by the power of the prison-suppressing steel. When the Blood Devil King gathered together again, her body had shrunk a lot. She looked dispirited and listless. However, the prison-suppressing steel did not intend to let her go and suppressed her again. The Blood Demon King screamed in horror. She was about to go crazy. She never dreamed that the prison-suppressing steel would appear here. The prison-suppressing steel was the nemesis of her race. Boom. This time, the Blood Demon King was even more miserable. Her form was shattered and she tumbled, unable to reform again. At this time, a black crystal appeared in Xian Yinqing's sea of consciousness. It emitted a terrifying devouring power and was about to devour the Blood Demon King's remnant soul. It's my world core, Xian Yinqing said. Lu Ming's expression changed. He then controlled the prison-suppressing steel and flew back to Lu Ming's head. Ah no! The Blood Demon King screamed in horror. However, balls of soul power were still absorbed by the world core. Lu Ming recognized that this heart of the world was obtained from the core of the ruins of God in the continent of God. In the past, he had thought that it was a sacred heart. Now, it seemed that it was the heart of the world left behind by an emperor-level powerhouse. The Blood Demon King's soul power was constantly being devoured by the world core. In the end, only a black shadow was left, twisting and struggling. At this moment, Lu Ming was shocked. This was because the last black shadow did not look like a human at all. Although it was in the shape of a human, it was very strange. It looked like a shadow, and there was an eye in between its eyebrows. There were a total of 3 eyes. Lu Ming thought of the 3-eyed divine tribe and the Titan longhorn beetle. The huge and terrifying creature that fought with the Titan longhorn beetle also had 3 eyes. What was the connection between them? Could this black shadow be the true body of the Blood Demon King? Buzz. At this moment, the prison-suppressing steel was no longer under Lu Ming's control. It left Lu Ming's body and flew out, suppressing the black shadow. No! The black shadow screamed in horror, but under the prison-suppressing steel, the black shadow exploded and turned into ashes. The Blood Demon King's remnant soul was finally suppressed to death by the prison-suppressing steel. Lu Ming let out a long breath. Lu Ming, I'm going to cultivate in seclusion. At this moment, Xian Yinqing spoke. The world core seemed to have absorbed the Blood Demon King's soul power and mutated. Okay, go ahead. I'll protect you, Lu Ming said. Xian Yinqing nodded. In the next moment, her spiritual will disappeared. Lu Ming took the prison-suppressing steel and left Xian Yinqing's consciousness, returning to his body. As soon as he returned to his body, Lu Ming heard a violent roar not far away. He turned his head and saw Cloud Dragon Valley Master and Ice Dragon Ancestor fighting with 5 Absolute Saints. The Cloud Dragon Valley Master and Ice Dragon Ancestor were barely able to fend off the 5 Absolute Saints working together. However, they didn't take a single step back. They stood firmly in front of them. Kill. Lu Ming shouted, holding the reincarnation halberd and striding out. Lu Ming, did you succeed? Ice Dragon Ancestor asked. Yes, the Blood Demon King is dead, Lu Ming said. His voice spread all over the place, shocking many people. Impossible. The sect master of the Sky Universe Demon Sect screamed like a madman. Chapter 1734. Nothing is impossible. Kill. Lu Ming shouted. He held the reincarnation halberd with both hands and slashed down. This attack was aimed at an exceptionally powerful absolute saint. This person's combat strength was not much weaker than the Cloud Dragon Valley Masters. If he wanted to kill someone, he had to kill the strongest. The reincarnation halberd was like the halberd of a god. It slashed down, unstoppable and unstoppable. Poof! That absolute saint let out an unwilling roar. His body turned into ashes under the reincarnation halberd, leaving nothing behind. The other 4 absolute saints turned pale with fright. They didn't dare to stay any longer. They all retreated frantically, afraid that they would be killed by Lu Ming's halberd. Lu Ming's eyes revealed a trace of pity. That streak of energy had been used up. There were a total of 2 streaks of energy in the reincarnation halberd. The previous burst of energy had been used up, especially when used to kill absolute saints. The energy consumption was especially fast. Now, there was only 1 streak of energy left in the reincarnation halberd, but the other party still had 10 absolute saints. Even if he used the last streak of energy, it was impossible to kill all of them. Kill. Lu Ming only hesitated for a moment before stepping forward with the reincarnation halberd. He didn't use that streak of energy. That streak of energy was to be used at the critical moment. But the others didn't know that Lu Ming had run out of energy. When they saw Lu Ming step forward, they were scared out of their wits and kept retreating. Ha ha ha, kill. Patriarch Ice Dragon laughed loudly. He and the Cloud Dragon Valley Master followed Lu Ming and charged forward. Wherever they passed, the evil spirit sect members, regardless of their cultivation level, all frantically retreated. Lu Ming was too terrifying. No matter what cultivation level they were at, the halberd in his hand killed them in 1 move. It was the same even for absolute saints. They were completely invincible. Whoever went up against him would die. Then, Lu Ming stepped toward the Sky Universe Demon Sect Master. The Sky Universe Demon Sect Master's expression changed. He used all his strength to force his opponent back and also frantically retreated. Why are you retreating? Didn't you want to kill me? Lu Ming sneered as he glared at the Sky Universe Demon Sect Master. The Sky Universe Devil Sect Sovereign's eyes were incomparably cold. She couldn't wait to tear Lu Ming into pieces, but she still didn't dare to fight. She was afraid that Lu Ming's halberd would kill her. Regroup, regroup. The Sky Universe Demon Sect's Sect Master roared. The evil spirit sect's powerful cultivators started to gather together. There were a total of 10 absolute saints standing at the very front. Their auras gathered together, shaking the heavens and earth. However, Lu Ming stepped forward with the reincarnation halberd in his hand. The other party was shocked and quickly retreated. 1 man and 1 halberd forced the 10 absolute saints and many other experts to retreat. This was a shocking scene that many people would never forget for the rest of their lives. Lu Ming, you're just relying on external objects. I can kill you with a single slap if I rely on my true abilities. The master of the Sky Universe Demon Sect said coldly. Ha ha ha, relying on external objects? How laughable. How many years have you been cultivating? How old are you? If you were the same age as me, I could kill you with a single breath. Lu Ming laughed disdainfully. The Sky Universe Demon Sect's sect master's expression was ugly, but she couldn't refute him. All of you will die sooner or later if you block the evil spirit sect's path. No one can stop the rise of the evil spirit sect. Let's go. After saying that, the Sky Universe Demon Sect's sect master and the others slowly retreated. Old woman, don't you want your disciple anymore? Lu Ming took out a Mo Yang and said, I forgot to tell you that I did search a Mo Yang's soul. However, his soul was destroyed by the restrictive power after that. Now, he has become an idiot. What? You dared to trick me. The Sky Universe Demon Sect's sect master screamed. She was so angry that her face was distorted. She knew that she had been deceived by Lu Ming. When Lu Ming said that he had searched Mo Yang's soul in front of everyone and projected the scene, it was completely fake. He had been deceiving her. His purpose was to trick her into making a move. If not, she could have used the power of the Celestial God Sect and the other sects to destroy the Dragon God Valley, then the Demon Extermination Fort and the Life and Death Sword faction. Finally, she could have set up a trap and suddenly attacked the Celestial God Sect and the other sections. That way, the Tsang state would have completely fallen into their control. Moreover, the Blood Demon King could have successfully taken over the body, and everything would have been perfect. But now, everything had changed. It was because Lu Ming had tricked her into making a move in advance that everything had changed. At that moment, the Sky Universe Demon Sect's sect master's face was distorted like a devil's. "Let's go." The Sky Universe Demon Sect's sect master shouted and turned to leave. The other members of the Evil Spirit sect also retreated and disappeared. The Cloud Dragon Valley Master and the others didn't chase after them. They were already at a disadvantage, so even if they chased after them, they wouldn't be able to make them stay. At that moment, the Cloud Dragon Valley Master and the others looked at the Celestial God Sect's sect master with an unfriendly expression. The Celestial God Sect's sect master's expression changed drastically. His figure flashed and retreated far away. "What do you want to do?" "The first thing we have to deal with now is the Evil Spirit Sect. If we have internal strife, the Evil Spirit Sect will only become stronger." "Haha, why are you in such a hurry? We didn't say we wanted to kill you." The Cloud Dragon Valley Master sneered. Then, the Cloud Dragon Valley Master looked around and said, "Everyone, let's go back and inform the other sects in the Tsang state to join forces to find the Evil Spirit Sect's nest and destroy them in one fell swoop. What do you think?" "That's what I'm thinking," the Demon Extermination Fort's sect master said. His huge eyes swept across the 9 Heaven Sword sect and the Demonic Moon sect's experts. "What do you all think?" "Destroying the Evil Spirit Sect is a top priority. I also have the same idea," the 9 Heaven Sword sect's sect master said. Then, the Demonic Moon sect's sect master also nodded. Finally, everyone looked at the Celestial God Sect's sect master. "My Celestial God Sect will naturally fight to destroy the Evil Spirit Sect," the Celestial God Sect's sect master said. "All right, then it's decided." The Cloud Dragon Valley Master and the others nodded. "Farewell." After saying that, the Celestial God Sect's sect master left with the remaining members of the Celestial God Sect. In this battle, the Celestial God Sect had suffered heavy losses. An absolute saint had died, and the other experts had also suffered heavy casualties. Their strength had been greatly reduced. The 9 Heaven Sword sect and the Demonic Moon sect were slightly better. Their absolute saints hadn't died, but the other experts had also suffered heavy losses. "Everyone, farewell. Let's meet again in the future." The 9 Heaven Sword sect's sect master also left with the 9 Heaven Sword sect's disciples. Then, the Demonic Moon sect did the same. For a time, besides the corpses all over the ground, only Lu Ming and the others were left in the vast Sky Universe Demon Sect. Lu Ming returned to Xian Yinqing's side. At this moment, Xian Yinqing was still sitting cross-legged, but there was demonic qi around her body. "This little girl is about to become a sage." Patriarch Ice Dragon appeared beside Lu Ming and said. Lu Ming nodded. "The few of you, return to your respective sects first and join forces with the other sects in the Tsang state to destroy the Evil Spirit Sect. Lu Ming and I will stay here and wait for this girl to break through." Patriarch Ice Dragon said to the Ice Dragon Valley Master, the Life and Death Sword Sect Master, and the others. Chapter 1735. Half a month later, Xian Yinqing finally succeeded in breaking through to the Martial Saint realm. After that, Lu Ming, Xian Yinqing, Ice Dragon Ancestor, and Cloud Dragon Valley Master returned to Dragon God Valley. Upon returning to Dragon God Valley, Lu Ming heard a lot of news. In the past half a month, the news of the battle at the Sky Universe Demon Sect had spread throughout the Tsang Prefecture and shocked the world. After that, the Dragon God Valley, Life and Death Sword Sect, Demon Castle, and other sects gathered all the major sects in Tsang State to join forces and exterminate the evil spirit sect. In an instant, many people responded. The Heavenly God Sect, Nine Heaven Sword Sect, and Demonic Moon Sect responded one after another, joining the alliance to suppress the evil spirit sect. After that, the Heavenly King Palace, Linglong Palace, and the Piyuan family, who had been neutral, also joined the alliance. At this point, the 9 top sects of the Tsang state had joined forces. In addition to the other small and medium-sized forces, their strength was incomparably great. During this period, the various sects had constantly sent out powerful cultivators to investigate the hiding place of the evil spirit sect, preparing to wipe them out in one fell swoop. After another half a month, they finally found the hiding place of the evil spirit sect. It was in a barren land in the north of Tsang State. For a time, the powerful cultivators of the various large sects in Tsang State gathered in the north. The Nine Heaven Sword Sect was located in the north, and all the major powers gathered outside the Nine Heaven Sword Sect. Dragon God Valley, Ice Dragon Ancestor, and Cloud Dragon Valley Master led a large number of experts to battle, while Ice Dragon Valley Master guarded Dragon God Valley. Lu Ming and Xian Yinqing also set out with the army and joined the crusade. In the Cloud Dragon Valley, second senior brother Long Yuanshan stayed behind to take charge. Tian Chue and Xuaning Xin were still weak, so they were not brought along. Yang Tianzong and Lu Ming's fourth senior brother and fifth senior brother were all saints, so they went to battle together. After several days, they arrived outside the Nine Heaven Sword Sect. At that moment, many people had gathered outside the Nine Heaven Sword Sect. They were all experts from various sections. The weakest among them was a high-level martial emperor. It was worth mentioning that Bubble had been in seclusion since a few days ago, transforming into a ball of white light that enveloped itself like a cocoon. Lu Ming knew that Bubbles was about to break through. Lu Ming was secretly delighted. If Bubble were to break through to the Saint Realm, its might would be even more astonishing with the help of the space-time laws. More and more people gathered outside the Nine Heaven Sword Sect. Experts from various sects in the Tsang province continued to gather. A few days later, the 9 top sects had all arrived. This time, each of the top sects sent 2 absolute saints. The 9 top clans had 18 absolute saints in total, and there were even more supreme saints and bright saints. With such a powerful force, they could defeat all the other clans in the Tsang Plain. In addition to the half-sages and high-level martial monarchs, there were tens of thousands of them. All of them were elites. More than half of the strong martial artists in the Tsang prefecture had gathered there. Set off. The Nine Heaven Sword Sect's sect master shouted, and then took the lead to fly towards the north. The Nine Heaven Sword Sect was located in the north, and they were the most familiar with the geography of this place. Thus, they let the Nine Heaven Sword Sect lead the way. There were tens of thousands of experts, and their terrifying auras swept across the land. Lu Ming was secretly shocked. With so many strong cultivators gathered together, it was truly astonishing. If they were to join forces and attack together, other than martial emperors, no one would be able to stop them. Soon, they flew into a vast mountain range. Moreover, the further they went, the more barren the terrain became. Gradually, a thick fog appeared in front of them. Everyone perked up and raised their vigilance. The absolute saints stood outside to prevent sneak attacks. They flew straight ahead for about 1,000 miles. There's someone ahead. Suddenly, someone shouted. Boom, boom. Everyone's aura erupted. They took a defensive posture and looked ahead. A large number of figures appeared in front of them. At the front were the Sky Universe Demon Sect's Sect Master, the Poison Desire Sect's Sect Master, and other absolute saints. Last time, when they retreated, there were only 10 absolute saints. But now, there were 2 more, and there were a total of 12 absolute saints. The absolute saints on the Alliance's side also flashed and appeared at the front. The 2 sides stopped and faced each other. It seemed that the evil spirit sect also knew that they were coming. They had already gathered their experts and were waiting here. The remnants of the evil spirit sect must be destroyed. The Life and Death Sword Sect's sect master said coldly. Black and white colors kept flowing around his body. Those were strands of sword chi. Haha, what a joke. The evil spirit sect will eventually rule the Tsang state and even a wider territory. Those who go against the evil spirit sect will all die. The Sky Universe Demon Sect's sect master said coldly. Her gaze landed on Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing, and a sinister expression appeared on her face. Shameless boasting. Today, we will destroy the evil spirit sect. An absolute saint from the evil moon sect stepped forward. His body was enveloped in a pitch-black moonlight, looking extremely terrifying. This person had been severely injured by the Sky Universe Demon Sect sneak attack. He had recovered during this period of time and hated the Sky Universe Demon Sect and the Poison Desire Sect to the bone. At this moment, he couldn't help but want to attack. Bam! Bam! The other Absolute Saints also stepped forward, causing the ground to tremble. A mere early-stage Absolute Saint. Kill. At this moment, a loud shout rang out. It didn't come from any one of them. Instead, it came from behind the evil spirit sect members. Then, a middle-aged man in a purple-gold robe stepped through the air. This person wore a jade crown and was filled with a noble aura. He was like an emperor of the human world. He held a golden battle sword in his hand. It was like an emperor's sword. He slashed out, and a golden sword light slashed toward the evil moon sect cultivator. This sword chi was boundless and terrifying. The vast might made many people have the urge to worship it. They couldn't even think of resisting. Complete Absolute Saint. The evil moon sect's Absolute Saint let out an incredulous roar. Then, he tried his best to block it. Endless moonlight rose up, trying to block it. But everything seemed to be in vain. The sword light slashed past, and the moonlight shattered. The terrifying sword light slashed into the evil moon sect's Absolute Saint's body. The evil moon sect's Absolute Saint's body stiffened. His eyes widened in shock. Following that, a bloody scar appeared between his eyebrows. Then, his body split apart from the middle. Everyone's hearts trembled. An Absolute Saint died just like that. He was killed by a single sword strike. Especially the Cloud Dragon Valley Master and the other Absolute Saints. Their pupils constricted, and they were filled with disbelief. Complete Absolute Saint. This middle-aged man filled with an emperor's aura was actually a complete Absolute Saint. How could the other side have such a strong cultivator? There wasn't a single complete Absolute Saint in Tsang State. Even Ice Dragon Sect's patriarch hadn't reached complete Absolute Saint after living for countless years. As for Lu Ming, he was even more shocked. He was very familiar with this man's aura. It reminded him of Di. Yes, this man's aura was actually similar to Di's and Xian's aura. Di family. You're from the Di family. Someone yelled. Many people were shocked. The Di family was an emperor-level force in the northwest of Tsang State. It seems like you have some eyesight. Chapter 1736. Brother from the Di family, why did you kill my people? Do you know that they're from the evil spirit sect? The sect master of the evil moon sect asked. His heart was bleeding. An Absolute Saint had been killed just like that. It was a great loss. Even a top sect didn't have many Absolute Saints. Of course I know. The noble middle-aged man said indifferently. Since you know, why are you helping them? The sect master of the evil moon sect shouted. Helping them? What a joke. Come out. The noble middle-aged man said indifferently. Boom, boom, boom. At this moment, terrifying auras came from all directions. Beams of golden sword light shot into the sky, stirring up the thick fog. Then, many figures appeared in front of everyone. They were wearing golden robes and jade crowns. They were very noble, and their auras were very similar to that of the middle-aged man. They were all from the Di family, and there were many of them. There were more than 10,000 of them, and each of them emitted a terrifying aura. There were many bright saints and great saints. There were even more than a dozen Absolute Saints. Among them, 3 of them had the most terrifying auras. They weren't weaker than the noble middle-aged man. They were Absolute Saints at the peak. Together with the noble middle-aged man, there were 4 Absolute Saints at the peak guarding the 4 directions. At this moment, the strong cultivators of the various sects turned pale. They were surrounded. Your Di family has also joined the evil spirit sect. Someone shouted. What do you mean by joining? We're just cooperating. The noble middle-aged man said indifferently. Ha ha ha, I said that you're the ones who will die today. The evil spirit sect will eventually rule the Tsang state. The sect master of the Sky Universe Demon sect laughed. The hearts of Lu Ming and the others sank. They knew that they had fallen into a trap. The other party had been waiting for them. But how could they have expected such a thing? How could they have expected that the D family had also joined the evil spirit sect and sent out such a shocking force? They wanted to destroy them in one fell swoop. Your D family sent so many strong cultivators to the Tsang state. Aren't you afraid that the Cloud Emperor Mountain will take advantage of the situation? The Valley Master of the Cloud Dragon sect said, frowning. Today, they were in trouble. Their opponent's strength was far above theirs. If they fought, they had no hope at all. Especially since the other side had 4 Absolute Saints of the Absolute Saint Realm. 4 Absolute Saints of the Absolute Saint Realm were enough to deal with all the Absolute Saints. Plus, they didn't know if the other side had more Absolute Saints in the dark. It seems like you guys are still unwilling to give up. I'll make you give up. Half a month ago, the Cloud Emperor Mountain was destroyed by my D-clan, and Emperor Yuan was killed by my martial monarch. The noble middle-aged man said, What? Cloud Emperor Mountain has been destroyed. Emperor Yuan was killed? How is that possible? He's a great emperor. Countless people cried out in shock, revealing looks of disbelief. It was simply unbelievable. The Tsang Prefecture, the Cloud Prefecture where the Cloud Emperor Mountain was located, and the Emperor Prefecture where the D-clan was located. Yun State was located in the west of Tsang State, while Emperor State was located in the northwest of Tsang State. Other than that, there were no other Emperor-level forces. Tsang Prefecture, Emperor Prefecture, and Cloud Prefecture were actually located in the middle of the Cloud Mist Mountain Range. The terrain was flat, and the origin chi was dense. The Cloud Mist Mountain Range was vast and boundless. It was surrounded by steep and evil mountains with countless ferocious beasts. Only the 3 prefectures had been created by Emperor Tsang, Emperor Yuan, and the martial monarchs of the D-clan a long time ago. It was suitable for the human race to reproduce and cultivate. There were other Emperor-level forces outside the Cloud Mist Mountain Range, but they were all very far away from the 3 prefectures. In the past, the 3 major forces were at odds with each other, and no one could do anything to the other. Since Emperor Tsang's accident, the strength of the Tsang Prefecture had plummeted. However, the Cloud Emperor Mountain and the D-clan were at odds with each other. The Tsang Prefecture was able to survive between the 2 forces and maintain a strange stability. Neither the Cloud Emperor Mountain nor the D-clan could touch the Tsang Prefecture. If one side attacked the Tsang Prefecture, the other side would take advantage of the situation. Moreover, Emperor Yuan and the martial monarchs of the D-clan were at the same level. No one could do anything to the other. But now, Emperor Yuan had been killed and Cloud Emperor Mountain had been destroyed. This way, the balance was completely broken. No one could stop the D-clan. It must be the evil spirit sect. It must be the evil spirit sect's emperors who helped the D-clan's emperors to kill Emperor Yuan. It's over. It's over. We can't win against the evil spirit sect. Many people sighed. They knew that the Cloud Emperor Mountain had been destroyed and the D-clan had sent a large number of experts. They no longer had any chance. Why are you talking so much nonsense with them? Just kill them. The Sky Universe Demon sect master shouted. Wait a minute. At this moment, 2 figures appeared in the air. They were both wearing black robes. One of them was a white-haired elder, and the other was a skinny old woman. Greetings to the 2 elders. The Sky Universe Demon sect master's expression changed when he saw the 2 of them. He hurriedly bowed. Everyone's heart sank even more. Each of the evil spirit sect's elders was an existence that stood at the peak of the sage stage. They were extremely terrifying. Now that 2 of them had come, the other party was too strong. They no longer had any chance. The white-haired elder nodded. Then, his gaze swept across the Cloud Dragon Valley Master and the others. Our evil spirit sect has returned. We are still weak and need all our strength. As long as you surrender and work for our evil spirit sect in the future, we can spare you. Many people's hearts moved, and their eyes flickered. If they fought today, only death would await them. Rather than being killed, they might as well submit to the evil spirit sect. Of course, everyone who surrenders will place a restriction on your soul or spiritual deity. As long as you dare to resist, your soul will be destroyed with a thought. The white-haired elder's voice turned cold. Many people's expressions turned ugly. If a restriction was placed on their soul or spiritual deity, they would have no freedom at all. They would have to obey the orders of the evil spirit sect. All right, I'll give you 3 minutes to consider whether to surrender or not. If you surrender, you can live. If you don't, you will die, the white-haired elder announced. Many people's expressions turned ugly. Their eyes flickered as they sized up their surroundings. However, they were completely surrounded. There were too many experts from the D family. Coupled with the original members of the evil spirit sect, they had no chance. The difference was too great. It was impossible to break out of the encirclement. If they attacked, only death awaited them. Time passed minute by minute, and the atmosphere became more and more solemn. Very soon, 3 minutes had passed. I'm willing to surrender. The entire Heavenly God sect is willing to surrender. A voice rang out. It was the Heavenly God sect's sect master. He was the first to speak. All right, a wise man submits to circumstances. Come forward. I will place a restriction on your soul or spiritual deity. The skinny old woman spoke. Her voice was ear-piercing and unpleasant. Although the Heavenly God sect master was unwilling, he still led the Heavenly God sect's experts forward. Chapter 1737. After the evil spirit sect's skinny old woman set up a restriction for the Heavenly Divine sect's sect master, she continued to set up restrictions for the other members of the Heavenly Divine sect. She was slower at setting up restrictions for those with higher cultivation levels, but she was faster at setting up restrictions for those with lower cultivation levels. With a wave of her hand, she set up restrictions one by one. The person who was placed under the restriction stood obediently behind the skinny old woman. Master, I want to charge out. In the crowd, Lu Ming held Xian Yinqing's small hand tightly as he sent a voice transmission to the Cloud Dragon Valley Master. He was unwilling to be controlled by the evil spirit sect and become their puppet. That would be a fate worse than death. Moreover, there was still Xian Yinqing. Even if he had to risk his life, he would not let Xian Yinqing fall into the hands of the evil spirit sect again. All right. Unexpectedly, the Cloud Dragon Valley Master nodded directly and sent a voice transmission to Lu Ming. I will contact the others and attack together. No matter what, you young people must be sent out. Otherwise, we will really have no hope. Lu Ming was rather touched. It seemed that the Cloud Dragon Valley Master did not intend to surrender. Even if Lu Ming did not say anything, the Cloud Dragon Valley Master would think of a way to charge out. Master, the halberd I obtained from the 100 Races battlefield only has 2 types of energy. I used one in the Sky Universe Demon Sect last time, and there is still one more. If I use my full strength, I can kill a perfected absolute saint in one fell swoop. Lu Ming sent a voice transmission to the Cloud Dragon Valley Master. All right. The Cloud Dragon Valley Master's eyes lit up. Originally, he was not very confident because there was a perfected absolute saint guarding in each direction. In addition, there were 2 evil spirit sect elders. Even if he could join forces and attack together, he would not have much of a chance. However, if Lu Ming could kill a perfected absolute saint, they would be able to break out from that direction. The possibility of charging out would be greatly increased. I will contact the others first, the Cloud Dragon Valley Master said, and immediately sent a voice transmission to Patriarch Ice Dragon. Patriarch Ice Dragon naturally agreed. Then, the Cloud Dragon Valley Master sent voice transmissions to the Life and Death Sword Sect Master, Demon Castle Master, Heavenly Palace Master, and the others. Most of the people agreed. However, people from the Demonic Moon Sect and the Piyuan family shook their heads and sighed. They didn't dare to gamble. Minger, we've already discussed it. When the time comes, the Patriarch and I will bring you and Yinqing to break out of the encirclement. The Cloud Dragon Valley Master transmitted his voice to Lu Ming. Just me and Shaoqing. What about my senior brothers and the other disciples of the Dragon God Valley? Lu Ming's heart shook as he said, there's no other way. The more people we bring, the lower the chances of us escaping. Bringing them along will only cause them to die. I'll get them to surrender and join the evil spirit sect first. You and Yinqing have the best talent. Only if you escape will there be hope. In the future, when your cultivation reaches great success, you can come back to save them. If you're captured, the others will have even less hope. The Cloud Dragon Valley Master said, but Lu Ming really couldn't bear it. There's no need to say more. Remember, all of you are our hope. The other sect leaders also think the same way. They will only bring 1 or 2 of their most outstanding disciples to break out of the encirclement. Only by protecting all of you can we have hope. The Cloud Dragon Valley Master transmitted his voice to Yang Tianzong and the others. Yang Tianzong and the others trembled and then nodded without hesitation. Junior brother, I'm counting on you. I'll wait for you to come and save me in the future. Yang Tianzong smiled and transmitted his voice to Lu Ming. Then, he stepped out and shouted, I want to surrender. I want to surrender too. Lu Ming's other senior brothers and the others of the Dragon God Valley also walked out and shouted their surrender. At this moment, Lu Ming clenched his fists tightly and felt a lump in his throat. Some people might really be afraid of death, which was why they surrendered. But Lu Ming knew Yang Tianzong and the others very well. They would definitely rather die than surrender. But at this moment, they surrendered without hesitation. Their goal was to make Lu Ming and the others feel at ease, and also to make the people of the evil spirit sect and the D family lower their guard. Senior brother, if I escape, I'll definitely come back to save you in the future. I'll make the evil spirit sect and the D family disappear from Yuanlu. Lu Ming swore in his heart, I surrender. People from the other sects kept shouting their surrender. Indeed, the people of the evil spirit sect were satisfied. The skinny old woman waved her hand and set up a restriction on Yang Tianzong and the others. Ming'er, now's the time. The Cloud Dragon Valley Master's voice rang in Lu Ming's ears. Bam! Lu Ming took a step forward and rushed to the west. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. At the same time, Xian Yinqing, the Cloud Dragon Valley Master, Ice Dragon Patriarch, and the Life and Death Sword Sect leader also moved and rushed to the west. You still want to resist? You're courting death, a perfected absolute saint in the west shouted. A golden battle sword appeared in his hand, and a terrifying aura burst out. A terrifying golden sword radiance slashed toward Lu Ming and the others. The power of a perfected absolute saint's attack was too terrifying. It suppressed the surroundings and destroyed everything in its path. The expressions of the Cloud Dragon Valley Master and the others changed drastically. Even if they joined forces, they wouldn't be able to escape this attack. If they were stopped by the other party and the others reacted, they wouldn't have a chance. Kill. At this moment, Lu Ming shouted. The reincarnation halberd appeared, and he didn't hesitate to release the last bit of energy within it. The reincarnation halberd turned into a towering halberd and slashed down. The opponent's golden sword radiance was directly destroyed by the halberd. The halberd didn't stop, and it was as fast as lightning. Poof! The perfected absolute saint couldn't block it at all, and was directly cut in half by the halberd. The terrifying power even cut a deep ravine in the ground. Charge! Kill our way out. The Cloud Dragon Valley Master and the others were energized. They unleashed all their strength and charged forward. There were still a few perfected saints in front of them, but they were instantly forced back. They didn't want to continue fighting and directly rushed out of the crowd, flying into the distance. Damn it! Chase, chase! The white-haired elder of the evil spirit sect roared and chased after them. In addition, there were 2 perfected absolute saints from the D family. Together with some other perfected saints, they also rushed out and quickly flew toward Lu Ming and the others. You guys, chase after them too. The skinny old woman looked at the Heavenly God Sect Master and the others. The Heavenly God Sect Master's expression changed. Quick! The skinny old woman shouted. The Heavenly God Sect Master and the other perfected saints who were under restrictions had no choice but to chase in the direction that Lu Ming and the others had escaped. The Cloud Dragon Valley Master used his power to envelop Lu Ming. Patriarch Ice Dragon carried Xian Yinqing and flew forward quickly. Lu Ming looked around and saw that the others each had one person. The Life and Death Sword Sect Master had a youth. Lu Ming was quite familiar with him. It was Luo Xiang. There was another perfected saint from the Life and Death Sword Sect with a youth. In addition, there were 2 perfected saints from the Demon Castle, 2 perfected saints from the Heavenly King Palace, and 2 perfected saints from the Linglong Palace. They each had one person. There were a total of 10 perfected saints with 10 youths. Without a doubt, these youths were the most talented in their respective sections. Only by sending them out would they have hope in the future. You can't escape. Surrender. A cold voice came from behind. Chapter 1738. The white-haired elder's speed was extremely shocking. He approached the group like a stream of light. There was a river surrounding his body, making him look like a god. The laws have formed a river. This person has completely grasped the law. The Cloud Dragon Valley Master shouted angrily. His expression was extremely ugly. The others were the same. The river around the white-haired elder was completely formed by laws. It was a river of laws. The Sage Realm was cultivating laws. Ordinary people could only cultivate one kind of law. He continued to comprehend and cultivate until he finally fully grasped this type of law. However, it was too difficult to completely grasp and comprehend a law. It was as difficult as ascending to the heavens. Even if one cultivated to the peak of the absolute saint realm, they wouldn't be able to completely comprehend a law. When one completely comprehended a law, they had already surpassed the sage realm and were half a step into the martial emperor realm. This realm could be called a quasi-emperor. This white-haired elder was a quasi-emperor. A quasi-emperor was much stronger than a peak absolute saint. Everyone gritted their teeth and raised their speed to the limit, flying forward with all their might. Whoosh! Whoosh! Streams of light streaked across the sky. In the blink of an eye, they had flown tens of thousands of miles away. At this time, the white-haired elder was even closer to them. Kill! The white-haired old man bellowed. With a wave of his hand, the Law River turned into a gigantic palm that was as big as a mountain. It slammed down at the crowd with a terrifying might that seemed as though it was going to explode the entire space. Let's join forces. The Cloud Dragon Valley Master and the others shouted. They blocked Lu Ming and the others behind them. The 10 absolute saints joined forces and unleashed their strongest attacks. The 10 attacks merged together and blasted toward the huge palm. Boom! There was an earth-shattering explosion. Although the Cloud Dragon Valley Master and the other absolute saints blocked the huge palm, their bodies shook and they retreated one by one, spitting out blood. A single move was enough to injure 10 absolute saints. The power of this move was earth-shattering. I'll give you one more chance. My evil spirit sect is in need of people. Surrender and I won't kill you. The white-haired elder said coldly. What made them feel even more despair was that behind them, more figures flashed. The other absolute saints were about to arrive. Leave him to me. Lu Ming held the reincarnation halberd in his hand and strode forward. He held the sword with both hands and exhaled. The reincarnation halberd heavily slashed towards the white-haired elder. This time, Lu Ming unleashed all the remaining energy in the reincarnation halberd. There was not a single bit left. The terrifying energy on the reincarnation halberd caused the white-haired elder's expression to change. Slash! The erupting old man roared. The river of laws transformed into a towering sword that slashed towards Lu Ming. Clang! The halberd and the giant sword met in the air and heavily slashed together. Terrifying energy erupted and swept out in all directions, destroying everything in its path. Break! Lu Ming's long hair fluttered in the wind. He looked like an invincible god of war. The reincarnation halberd emitted a black light as it slowly pressed down on his opponent. Bang! In the end, the opponent's sword light exploded with a bang. The terrifying energy on the reincarnation halberd completely bombarded the white-haired elder. The white-haired elder screamed in pain as his body flew hundreds of miles away. He spat out large mouthfuls of blood and his aura was extremely weak. However, the white-haired elder was still alive. Lu Ming sighed. The opponent was too powerful. He was a boundary emperor. Of course, if the reincarnation halberd's energy was fully unleashed, it would probably be able to kill a boundary emperor. Unfortunately, Lu Ming had already used the last bit of energy to kill a peak absolute saint. As a result, the energy wasn't enough to kill the white-haired elder. It could only severely injure him. Back then, the reincarnation emperor had said that if the energy in the reincarnation halberd was fully unleashed, it could kill any expert below the emperor level. Even a boundary emperor was below the emperor level. Of course, that was when the energy was fully unleashed. Elder. At this moment, the experts of the D family and the sect master of the heavenly god sect had also arrived. They were extremely shocked. What kind of weapon was Lu Ming holding? It was too terrifying. It could even severely injure a boundary emperor. Previously, the halberd had killed a peak absolute saint. This shocked them so much that they didn't dare to go forward. Let's go. At this moment, the Valley Master of the Cloud Dragon Valley swept out his saint power and enveloped Lu Ming. The group continued to fly forward. Don't let them escape, the white-haired elder shouted angrily. Then, he sat down and started to heal his injuries. Chase. The experts of the D family and the sect master of the heavenly god sect continued to chase after Lu Ming. Not long after, another few tens of thousands of miles had passed. The Valley Master of the Cloud Dragon Valley and the others were carrying one person. The distance between the two sides was slowly closing. However, they didn't dare to attack as they were clearly afraid of Lu Ming's reincarnation halberd. You guys attack first. A peak absolute saint expert of the D family looked at the sect master of the heavenly god sect and the others. Why should we attack first? The sect master of the heavenly god sect's expression changed drastically. If you don't attack, you'll die now. The D family expert said coldly. The sect master of the heavenly god sect had an ugly expression. However, they were controlled by the evil spirit sect and could only obey their orders. Otherwise, the other party could kill them with a thought. Yunruoxu, Lu Ming, you'd better surrender. The evil spirit sect has already targeted you. You can't escape. The sect master of the heavenly god sect said, even if we can't escape, we have to escape. The Valley Master of the Cloud Dragon Valley said, how stubborn. Kill. The sect master of the heavenly god sect had a dark expression. He took out a sacred weapon and charged toward the group from afar. The Valley Master of the Cloud Dragon Valley slashed out with his sword and sent the sacred weapon flying. Then, the other absolute saints with the sect master of the heavenly god sect also attacked. They also took out their sacred weapons and attacked Lu Ming and the others. They were afraid of Lu Ming's halberd and didn't dare to get close. They're close. Attack with all your might. The D family expert shouted coldly. The sect master of the heavenly god sect suddenly accelerated. A divine spear of punishment formed in his hand and stabbed toward Lu Ming and the others. Scram. The Cloud Dragon Valley Master slashed out with his sword and sent the sect master of the heavenly god sect flying. Boom. An Emperor family expert flew into the sky and slashed down with his sword. A shocking sword light slashed toward the group. The group worked together to block the sword light. That brat's halberd must have some restrictions. He can't use it now. The sect master of the heavenly god sect suddenly shouted. He remembered that at the Sky Universe Demon sect, Lu Ming was also brave and invincible. He killed several absolute saints in a row, but in the end, he watched the Sky Universe Demon sect's sect master and the others leave and didn't chase after them. If Lu Ming's halberd could be used indefinitely, why didn't he kill the Sky Universe Demon sect's sect master and the others back then? With the power that could severely injure a sub-thearch just now, it was completely possible. Moreover, now that he was attacked by them, he didn't use it for a long time. It was obvious that there was some restriction that prevented him from using it. Lu Ming's expression changed. It seemed that he had been seen through. The D family expert's eyes lit up. He shouted, attack together. Chapter 1739. The Heavenly God sect master pointed out that Lu Ming's halberd might not be usable anymore. The Emperor family and evil spirit sect cultivators started to attack. All kinds of attacks poured toward Lu Ming and the others. The Cloud Dragon Valley Master and the others could only fight back with all their might. However, the other party had more people, and there were two perfected absolute saints. They were no match for them at all. They kept retreating and were at a disadvantage. The two perfected absolute saints were too strong. After more than 10 moves, the weaker ones among the 10 absolute saints were already injured. He still hasn't used that halberd. It seems like he really can't use it anymore. The Heavenly God Sect Master said. His eyes flickered with a cold light. Since he couldn't escape, and the people of the Heavenly God Sect couldn't escape because they were controlled by the evil spirit sect, he didn't want the Cloud Dragon Valley Master and the others to escape, especially Lu Ming. At the very least, he had to capture Lu Ming and the others and make them puppets of the evil spirit sect. Kill. The two perfected absolute saints were even bolder. They held the Emperor's sword in their hands, and their sword chi was vast and mighty. They were like emperors who could flatten the world. Poof! An absolute saint from the demon castle was pierced by the sword chi. He was severely injured and almost died. Boom! Boom! The others also kept charging over, breaking apart the defensive formation of the Cloud Dragon Valley Master and the others. Die! A perfected absolute saint from the Emperor family shouted. He stared at the demon castle cultivator and attacked like a tidal wave. The Emperor's sword slashed out violently, destroying everything. Leave quickly, the demon castle cultivator roared. He tried his best to block, but it was useless. In the end, he was cut in half and died here. Kid, you're a talent. Surrender. The expert from the D-clan coldly stated as he stared at the young genius from the demon castle. I surrender. The demon castle cultivator had no choice but to surrender. At this moment, another furious roar sounded. An absolute saint from the Heavenly King Palace had his dantian pierced by another perfected absolute saint from the Emperor family. His saint heart was destroyed. Sword light swept out, and that absolute saint was turned into ashes. In the blink of an eye, two absolute saints had died. We can't fight them head-on. Charge! The Cloud Dragon Valley Master howled. The remaining 8 people charged forward with all their might. However, their opponents were too strong. They were completely blocked and could not break out of the encirclement. We can't go on like this. We have to split up and disperse the enemy's strength. Otherwise, we'll all be left behind. Ancestor Ice Dragon said. That's right. The 8 of us will form groups of 2 and break out of the encirclement. Whether or not we can break out will depend on our luck. The leader of the Life and Death Sword faction said, I'll lead the way. The Ice Dragon Ancestor let out a long roar and turned into a huge ice dragon. He opened his mouth and spat out a snow-white dragon horn. This dragon horn emitted a terrifying power. A trace of reluctance appeared in the eyes of the Ice Dragon Ancestor, and then he roared, Explode! The snow-white dragon horn exploded with a boom, and a terrifying cold current gushed out. The absolute saint from the Emperor family was instantly frozen by the cold current, turning into an Iceman. An absolute saint at the peak of the saint realm was knocked back by the cold current, and his body was covered in a layer of ice. Charge! The Ice Dragon Ancestor roared and charged out. The others followed him and broke out of the encirclement. The 8 absolute saints split into 4 groups and ran in 4 directions. The Cloud Dragon Valley Master and the Cloud Dragon Valley Master led Lu Ming and Xian Yinqing in one group. The 2 absolute saints from the Life and Death Sword faction led Luo Xiang and 2 other geniuses in one group. The 2 experts from the Linglong Palace were in another group. The Demon Castle Master and the Sky King Palace Master were in another group. Split up and chase. An absolute saint at the peak of the saint realm yelled, We can't let that Lu Ming escape. He'll definitely be a huge threat once he grows up. The Celestial God Sect Master yelled, Chase. The absolute saint at the peak of the saint realm led his men and chased after Lu Ming and the others. The others split up and chased after the other groups. That absolute saint at the peak of the saint realm has his eyes on us. The Cloud Dragon Valley Master's face darkened. The Cloud Dragon Valley Master and the Ice Dragon Ancestor were confident that they could escape if there wasn't an absolute saint at the peak of the saint realm. However, it would be difficult if there was an absolute saint at the peak of the saint realm. The 2 of them led Lu Ming and Xian Yinqing and flew quickly. However, the other party was obviously faster. The distance between them kept closing. Master Ancestor, we have to split up. At this moment, Lu Ming spoke. The other party's target was obviously him. If they split up, Xian Yinqing would have a high chance of escaping. If they stayed together, none of them would be able to escape. Lu Ming, don't split up. Let's go together, Xian Yinqing said. How could she not know what Lu Ming was thinking? Lu Ming is right. We have to split up. Ancestor, you take Yinqing, and I'll take Lu Ming. Let's see who can escape. The Cloud Dragon Valley Master said. Okay. The Ice Dragon Ancestor nodded decisively. Lu Ming, Xian Yinqing still didn't want him to leave. Let's go, Lu Ming yelled. The Ice Dragon Ancestor grabbed Xian Yinqing with his huge dragon claw. With a long roar, he separated from the Cloud Dragon Valley Master and flew in another direction. You guys go after that Ice Dragon. Leave these two to me. The Absolute Saint at the peak ordered. The other Absolute Saints chased after the Ice Dragon Ancestor, while the Absolute Saint at the peak continued to chase after the Cloud Dragon Valley Master and Lu Ming. Lu Ming heaved a sigh of relief inwardly. With the Ice Dragon Ancestor's combat power, as long as he didn't face an Absolute Saint at the peak, he had a high chance of escaping. The Absolute Saints of the other party were indeed targeting him. This was why Lu Ming didn't use the mountain and river diagram to put the others in. If he put the others in the mountain and river diagram, the other party would be a smaller target. They only needed to target him. That way, they wouldn't be able to escape. As long as they took down Lu Ming, they would be wiped out. The best way was to split up and travel separately. The Cloud Dragon Valley Master took Lu Ming and turned into a beam of sword light. They traveled 1,000 miles in an instant, and boundless mountains flashed under their feet. You can't escape. Since you're strong, surrender obediently. Otherwise, you'll die. The Absolute Saint from the D family said coldly. His body seemed to have turned into a beam of golden sword light. He tore through the air at a shocking speed. The Cloud Dragon Valley Master couldn't widen the distance between them no matter how hard he tried. Instead, the distance between them was getting closer and closer. Whoosh! Behind them, the powerful figures of the D-Clan slashed out a sword gleam toward Lu Ming and the Cloud Dragon Valley Master. The Cloud Dragon Valley Master waved his sword to block the attack. With a loud bang, the Cloud Dragon Valley Master's body shook violently and his face turned pale. However, with the help of this force, he flew 100 miles ahead. Master, Lu Ming was worried. I'm fine. Ming'er, you go first. I'll stop him. The Cloud Dragon Valley Master transmitted his voice to Lu Ming. What? Lu Ming was shocked. No, this person is too strong. He's a peak stage Absolute Saint. I can't let Master stay alone. The Cloud Dragon Valley Master would be in danger if he stayed behind. Lu Ming wouldn't agree. Ming'er, there's hope as long as you escape. Now, your senior brothers and so many people from the Dragon God Valley have fallen into the hands of the evil spirit sect. The Dragon God Valley will definitely be in danger. Now, the only hope is on you. With your talent, you'll definitely rise in the future and destroy the evil spirit sect and the D family. If you're also captured, then there's really no hope at all. Do you understand? Chapter 1740. Master. Lu Ming clenched his fists tightly. Although he knew that this was the best choice, he couldn't leave the Cloud Dragon Valley Master behind to fend off the enemy while he escaped alone. Ever since he joined the Dragon God Valley and became the Cloud Dragon Valley Master's disciple, the Cloud Dragon Valley Master had helped him too much. He had been suppressed by Yin Zheng in front of the Cloud Dragon Valley, and the Cloud Dragon Valley Master had forced Yin Zheng to retreat in anger. After that, he had used the power of the third bloodline to transform into a killing puppet. The Cloud Dragon Valley Master had arrived in time to save him and sealed him in ice for half a year to erase the endless killing intent. There were many more. It could be said that without the Cloud Dragon Valley Master, there would be no Lu Ming today. But now, Lu Ming had to make such a choice. Lu Ming couldn't do it. Ming'er, don't be silly. Your senior brothers and the rest of the people in the Dragon God Valley need your help. Don't worry about me. If I can't win, I'll just surrender and wait for you to come back and save me. The evil spirit sect needs strength to revive, so they won't kill me. The Cloud Dragon Valley Master continued, also, escape and go to the Ancient Moon Sacred Ground to seek help from the Ancient Moon Sacred Ground. Only the Ancient Moon Sacred Ground can deal with the evil spirit sect. If we're all captured, we'll have no hope. Go. The Cloud Dragon Valley Master shouted one last time. Master, take care. Lu Ming bellowed. He cast the Wind God steps and flew forward at high speed. Lu Ming was also a decisive person. After struggling for a while, he quickly made a decision. The Cloud Dragon Valley Master stopped and held his sword with one hand. His white robe and white hair fluttered in the wind as he looked at the Emperor family overlords. Roar! Clang! A dragon roared and sword chi shot into the sky. Lu Ming turned his head and saw two shocking sword gleams meeting in the air and colliding with each other. Lu Ming's heart trembled as he clenched his fists. Because he used too much strength, his fingernails penetrated his palms and blood flowed out. His eyes were bloodshot as he shouted in his heart, Master, nothing must happen to you. I'll come back to save you in the future. I'll destroy the evil spirit sect and the D family with my own hands. Boom, boom. In the distance, sword chi soared into the heavens as they clashed continuously. It was incomparably intense. Lu Ming gritted his teeth and pushed his speed to the limit. Like a beam of light, he shot off into the distance and finally rushed into the vast and endless mountains. After rushing into the mountain, Lu Ming converted the primal chaos law into the law of earth and then rushed into the ground. Lu Ming directly sank into the ground and disappeared without a trace. Lu Ming traversed underground with the laws revolving around him. His speed was still astonishing. Moreover, Lu Ming had used the illusory breathing technique to restrain his aura to the extreme, not leaking the slightest bit of aura. Just like that, Lu Ming traveled underground for 2 days and 2 nights. He didn't know how far he had traveled. At this moment, Lu Ming stopped. With a thought, he entered the mountain and river diagram. As for the mountain and river diagram, it was left deep underground. Lu Ming took out a pile of ores and began to devour and refine them. Not long after, Lu Ming's saint energy was completely restored. I wonder what happened to Master? I hope Master can't defeat him and just surrender. And Yinxing, did she and Ancestor Ice Dragon escape? Lu Ming's eyes were filled with worry. At this moment, he yearned for strength. Although his cultivation speed was already very fast, it was still very fast. It had been more than 5 years since he had arrived in Yuanlu. When he had just arrived in Yuanlu, he was only a sovereign and had yet to become an emperor. But now, he was already a saint. In a little more than 5 years, he had crossed such a great distance. It was amazing. After becoming a martial emperor, time became less and less important. Many people would go into seclusion for 10 years, decades, or even centuries. In 5 or 6 years, many people might not even be able to cross one level of cultivation. Lu Ming's cultivation speed was already very fast. It was not inferior to some of the peerless geniuses. And Lu Ming's combat strength was even more shocking. With his cultivation of a lesser bright saint, he could even kill an ordinary lesser great saint if he used all his means. This had never happened in Song State since ancient times. However, such combat strength was naturally high and unsurpassable among the younger generation in Song State. But in the face of a colossus like an emperor-level force, he still seemed so powerless. In an emperor-level force, not to mention martial emperors, he was no match for any of the quasi-emperors or absolute saints below. He had to continue to improve. If he had the cultivation of a martial emperor now, he could directly step into the D-clan and destroy the D-clan and evil spirit sect. Master, just you wait. I will definitely go to the Ancient Moon Sacred Ground and get reinforcements. Even if there is no reinforcements, I will definitely save you. Lu Ming's eyes were firm. With a move, Lu Ming appeared in a valley. In the valley, there was a milky white cocoon of light. Within the cocoon of light was bubbles. Lu Ming took a look and left this place. He sat cross-legged under the Enlightenment ancient tree. I can't go out yet. The evil spirit sect and D-clan are probably looking for me all over the world. I'll go out after a while. Lu Ming pondered. Then, Lu Ming closed his eyes and began to comprehend the chaotic tribulation finger. In the blink of an eye, half a month passed. In the distance, a pillar of light shot into the sky, interrupting Lu Ming's cultivation. Bubbles! Lu Ming's eyes lit up. He took a step forward and appeared in that valley. At this moment, the cocoon of light that Bubbles had transformed into was incomparably resplendent. After a while, the light receded. Lu Ming saw a figure in the light. Yes, it was a figure, a human figure. Could it be that Bubbles has transformed? Lu Ming's eyes lit up. When the light completely disappeared, a little girl appeared in front of Lu Ming. It was a little girl who looked to be only 2 or 3 years old. Her hair was loose and she wasn't wearing any clothes, revealing skin that was whiter and smoother than jade. She looked chubby and exceptionally cute. This is Bubbles? She's really a girl. Lu Ming was tongue-tied. Lu. Big brother Lu Ming, chirp. The cute little girl blinked her big eyes. When she saw Lu Ming, she called out in a childish voice and pounced on Lu Ming. She directly jumped into Lu Ming's arms. Her chubby body rolled around in Lu Ming's arms. Bubbles, you've transformed? Lu Ming asked. Ordinary demon beasts could transform in their spirit sea, but divine beasts could only transform in the monarch realm. The higher the level, the harder it was to transform. Bubbles was one of the top 10 battle beasts, but she could only transform in the sage realm. Yes, yes, chirp. Bubbles opened her mouth and spoke in a childish voice. She couldn't speak fluently, and there was a chirp at the end. She was as cute as she could be. Ha ha. Bubbles, put on your clothes. Lu Ming smiled and his mood was finally a little better. Yes, big brother Lu Ming, chirp. Bubbles' body was surrounded by light. She used her saint power to weave a small dress, which made her even cuter. Bubbles, let's go out and have a look, Lu Ming said. Then, he let Bubbles sit on his shoulder. Lu Ming came out of the mountain-river diagram, restrained his aura, and went to the ground. Chapter 1741. After arriving at the surface, he realized that this was a vast mountain range. The roars of demonic beasts could be heard from time to time. I wonder how Master is doing, and Xiang Xiang and the others. Lu Ming looked worried. Bubble, you go into the mountain and river diagram first. I want to make a trip back to the Dragon God Valley. Lu Ming said to Bubble. Bubble nodded and returned to the mountain and river diagram with a flicker. Lu Ming's body began to change. In the end, he turned into a dark-skinned young man. His aura also changed drastically. Then, Lu Ming headed in the direction of the Tsang continent. Lu Ming felt uneasy about leaving just like that. He had to find out the whereabouts of the Cloud Dragon Valley Master, Xian Yanqing, Xiang Xiang, Tian Shui, and the others. Otherwise, if he left just like that, he would leave behind a mental demon that would greatly affect his future cultivation. With Lu Ming's cultivation, as long as he didn't encounter a supreme sage expert, no one should be able to see through his disguise. He just had to avoid them. Lu Ming rose into the air and flew at top speed. Along the way, he didn't encounter anyone from the evil spirit sect or the D family. Not long after, Lu Ming arrived at the place where the Cloud Dragon Valley Master had stopped. This place was a mess. The ground was filled with unfathomable sword marks that crisscrossed and stretched for thousands of miles. It could be seen how intense the battle had been. Lu Ming even saw blood in one place. Master, how is it? Lu Ming's worry grew stronger. Then, he left. Not long after, Lu Ming arrived near the Nine Heaven Sword Sect. The Nine Heaven Sword Sect was very peaceful. There were people going in and out, and it looked very peaceful. However, Lu Ming saw a few figures in golden robes. They were clearly disciples of the D family. It seemed that the Nine Heaven Sword Sect had already been controlled by the evil spirit sect. Lu Ming left and headed south. Along the way, he passed by several powerful sects and secretly observed them. He discovered that these sects were already under the control of the evil spirit sect. Clearly, many people had been set up with restrictions to obey the evil spirit sect's orders. It was obvious that the evil spirit sect had full control over all the major forces in Tsang State. Several days later, Lu Ming arrived in the vicinity of Dragon God Valley. Lu Ming did not enter the Dragon God Valley. Instead, he waited outside. Not long after, Lu Ming's eyes narrowed as he saw a familiar face. It was the sect master of the Sky Universe Devil Sect. Looks like the evil spirit sect has also taken down the Dragon God Valley. How are Xiang Xiang and the others? Lu Ming was extremely worried. He restrained his aura and watched from afar. The leader of the Sky Universe Demon sect looked gloomy. He flew toward the north and disappeared in the blink of an eye. Lu Ming continued to wait. The next day, he saw the group of people flying out of the Dragon God Valley. Senior brother Zifeng. Lu Ming's eyes lit up. He saw Zifeng. The group flew off into the distance. Lu Ming followed them from a distance. Senior brother Zifeng. After they were some distance away from the Dragon God Valley, Lu Ming sent a voice transmission to Zifeng. After hearing Lu Ming's voice, Zifeng's body trembled, but he quickly regained his composure. I suddenly remembered that I still have something to do and need to return to the Dragon God Valley. You guys go ahead first. Zifeng and the others said. The others nodded and continued flying, disappearing in the blink of an eye. Zifeng looked around. Senior brother Zifeng, I'm in a valley on your left. Lu Ming's voice sounded in Zifeng's ear. Zifeng's figure moved and flew to the left. He flew into a valley and saw Lu Ming. Junior brother Lu Ming, I heard that you escaped. Right now, there are many people from the evil spirit sect and the Sky Universe Devil Sect looking for you. Why did you come back? It's very dangerous. Zifeng said worriedly. Senior brother Zifeng, has the evil spirit sect already occupied the Dragon God Valley? Lu Ming asked. That's right. Zifeng sighed and said, more than 10 days ago, a large number of evil spirit sect experts descended on the Dragon God Valley. Most of the disciples of the Dragon God Valley were captured. The other parties set up a restriction on our spirit god. As expected, Lu Ming's heart tightened as he asked, Senior brother Zifeng, do you know what happened to Tian Shui and my disciple Xiang Xiang? Junior brother, you don't have to worry about this. Back then, the Valley Master saw the opportunity early and rushed out of the Dragon God Valley with Xiang Xiang, Tian Shui, and Xuanixin. I don't know where they are now, but I heard that the evil spirit sect has been looking for them. They should be fine. It's a pity that when the others escaped, most of them were captured. Zifeng laughed bitterly. Escaped? Lu Ming relaxed. The Ice Dragon Valley Master also knew about Xiang Xiang's talent. Presumably, when he realized that something was wrong, he immediately fled with Xiang Xiang, Tian Shui, and Xuanixin. A sect master like the Ice Dragon Valley Master naturally knew how to make decisions. At the critical moment, he would naturally take away the person with the strongest talent. Only then would there be hope. Senior brother Zifeng, do you know how my master, the Cloud Dragon Valley Master, is doing? Lu Ming asked again. Yes. Zifeng nodded and said, I've secretly inquired about the news. Back then, when you all went to encircle and annihilate the evil spirit sect, you were ambushed by the D-clan. Most of you were captured and controlled by the evil spirit sect, and a few were killed. I heard that your master was seriously injured and was set up by the evil spirit sect in the end. Master is fine. Lu Ming's eyes lit up. It was good that his master was fine. He was just being controlled by the other party. Lu Ming would save him sooner or later. Senior brother, what else did you hear? For example, how many people escaped? Lu Ming asked. I'm not very sure either. It seems that many people have been captured, such as the sect master of the Heavenly King Hall, the Demon Castle Master, and so on. However, our Patriarch Ice Dragon seems to have escaped as well. The sect master of the Life and Death Sword sect has also escaped. Zifeng pondered for a moment and said, Did Patriarch Ice Dragon escape as well? Lu Ming's heart relaxed again. Patriarch Ice Dragon's escape meant that Xian Yinqing had also escaped. Fortunately, things did not develop in the worst direction. Xiang Xiang and the others were taken away by the Ice Dragon Valley Master, and Xian Yinqing was taken away by Patriarch Ice Dragon. His master, the Cloud Dragon Valley Master, was only injured and had fallen into the hands of the other party. In this way, Lu Ming was more or less relieved. Senior brother Zifeng, come with me. Lu Ming said, Junior brother, you should leave. I can't leave. The other party has set up a restriction on my spirit deity. Every once in a while, I have to report. If I don't report after a certain period of time, the other party will activate the restriction and destroy my soul. Zifeng shook his head and smiled bitterly. Damn it. Lu Ming gritted his teeth. This is the evil spirit sect's method of controlling people. Junior brother, you should leave quickly. Leave the Tsang state. With your talent, you will have a chance to become an emperor in the future. I will place my hopes on you. I will wait here for you to come back and save me. Zifeng smiled faintly. Senior brother Zifeng, take care. Lu Ming cupped his fists. Haha, don't worry. Before junior brother returns, I will definitely live well. When junior brother returns, I will drink with junior brother again. Junior brother, leave quickly. If you delay, something will happen. Zifeng said. Senior brother, don't worry. In the future, Lu Ming will definitely come back to save you and flatten the evil spirit sect. Chapter 1742. After parting with Zifeng, Lu Ming changed his appearance and headed west. Now, he planned to pass through Cloud Prefecture and enter the Cloud Sea mountain range from the west to the ancient moon sacred ground. A few days later, Lu Ming arrived at the western part of Tsang Prefecture and entered Cloud Prefecture. After some time, Lu Ming arrived near Cloud Emperor Mountain. Cloud Emperor Mountain has collapsed. Lu Ming muttered with a complicated look in his eyes. In the distance, the majestic Cloud Emperor Mountain had collapsed. It was as if it had been hit by a boundless power. There was a war between emperors here. Cloud Emperor was killed and Cloud Emperor Mountain collapsed. Lu Ming sighed. An emperor-level force had been destroyed just like that. Even a martial emperor had been killed. The Yuanlu was too big, and there were countless forces. Such things could happen everywhere. Even if one cultivated to the martial emperor realm, it was not guaranteed that one would be safe. There would always be someone stronger. Unless one had the strength to dominate the world, one could fall at any time. Lu Ming did not stay for long. He took a few glances and left, heading west. Soon, Lu Ming's eyes flickered. There was a group of people flying in front of him. There were about a dozen of them, and they were all wearing golden robes. They had a noble aura, as if they were emperors. Lu Ming was familiar with one of the young men, Di Xian. Back then, Di Xian had led his men into the divine wilderness to help Di kill Lu Ming. In the end, Lu Ming had killed most of his men and forced them to retreat. He did not expect to meet Di Xian here. After so many years, Di Xian's cultivation had already broken through to the martial emperor realm. He was now a rank 5 martial emperor. He was not eye-catching among the dozen people. Among them, there were 2 saints and the rest were high-level martial emperors. Since I've met him, I'll get rid of him. Otherwise, who knows when he will go to the divine wilderness to seek revenge. A cold light flashed in Lu Ming's eyes. Lu Ming stepped forward and walked toward the dozen emperor family members. Who are you? A Saint Realm expert looked at Lu Ming with sharp eyes. The people who will kill you. A battle sword appeared in Lu Ming's hand, and he slashed out. A terrifying sword light flashed, and the saint was killed without being able to retaliate at all. Not good, call for help. Someone exclaimed. Kill. Lu Ming's battle sword swept across the sky. With these people's combat strength, they simply couldn't stop Lu Ming. The difference was too great. With a single slash, almost all of them were wiped out. Only one person remained alive, and that was Di Xian. At this moment, Di Xian was completely stunned. He stood in the air, trembling uncontrollably and sweating profusely. He looked at Lu Ming in horror and said, Brother, let's talk nicely. Spare my life. You're from Cloud Emperor Mountain, right? Please leave. I won't tell anyone. I'm not from Cloud Emperor Mountain, Lu Ming said. Not from the Cloud Emperor Mountain? Di Xian was taken aback. He had thought that it was someone from the Cloud Emperor Mountain who had escaped and came back to take revenge. It turned out that it was not someone from the Cloud Emperor Mountain. Don't you remember me so soon? Lu Ming sneered, and his appearance returned to normal. It's you? Di Xian's eyes narrowed as he recognized Lu Ming. He had not expected that before he went to the Divine Wilderness continent to look for Lu Ming had already come here. Moreover, His combat strength was terrifying. Even a saint was no match for him. His original plan was to go to the divine wilderness continent to seek revenge on Lu Ming after he had broken through to the martial emperor realm. However, many things had happened in the D family, and he had to do many things. At this time, he did not go to the divine wilderness continent. He stayed in the D family to build up his career. When the situation stabilized, he would go to the divine wilderness continent to kill Lu Ming. He had never expected to meet Lu Ming here. He turned around and ran. However, Lu Ming slashed out with his sword. Xian was dead. After killing Xian, Lu Ming felt more relaxed. Now, he could go to the ancient moon's sacred ground with peace of mind. After changing his appearance again, Lu Ming quickly left the place and headed west. Not long after Lu Ming left, the murder of Xian and the others was discovered. The D family sent out a large number of experts to search for the murderer. Unfortunately, they did not find the murderer. Lu Ming headed west. He passed through the Clouds continent and entered a vast mountain range. This was the Cloudsea mountain range. The Cloudsea mountain range was filled with towering ancient trees and dangerous peaks. Countless fierce beasts lived in it, and there were even many absolute saint fierce beasts. Lu Ming was careful. He slowed down and walked in the Cloudsea mountain range. He cultivated as he hurried. After walking for 2 months, Lu Ming finally passed through the endless Cloudsea mountain range and entered a place where humans gathered, Feng Continent. Feng Continent was also guarded by an Emperor Realm expert called Emperor Feng. After arriving at Feng Continent, Lu Ming finally did not have to be so careful. He took out the sky-piercing flying shuttle that could travel 5 times faster. He entered the sky-piercing flying shuttle and soared into the sky. Lu Ming's goal was to go to the ancient moon's sacred ground and see if he could ask the ancient moon's sacred ground's powerful forces to destroy the evil spirit sect. Ordinary Emperor Realm forces were useless. For example, Cloud Emperor Mountain had already been destroyed. After Lu Ming entered the sky-piercing flying shuttle, he continued to cultivate. During the 2 months in the Cloudsea mountain range, Lu Ming's main goal was to cultivate the chaotic tribulation finger. After such a long time of cultivation, Lu Ming finally succeeded in comprehending the chaotic tribulation finger. Of course, it was only 10%, but its power was still terrifying. The chaotic tribulation finger was a divine power that used the law of chaos as its foundation. Even 10% of it was far more powerful than ordinary law of chaos divine power. The chaotic tribulation finger had become Lu Ming's strongest killing move. Lu Ming's cultivation was also steadily increasing. He was slowly approaching the great success of the bright sage realm. In the sky-piercing flying shuttle, Lu Ming cultivated in peace. In the blink of an eye, another month had passed. Lu Ming had already crossed 6 large states and passed by 6 Emperor Realm forces. However, he was still very far away from the ancient moon's sacred ground. There are actually so many Emperor Realm forces in this land. Then, with the ancient moon's sacred ground as the center, how many Emperor Realm forces are there? These Emperor Realm forces have at least 1 Emperor Realm expert overseeing them. How many Emperor Realm experts are there? Also, there are 9 sacred grounds in the Yuan Mountain. How many Emperor Realm forces are there? Not to mention, there are as many as 10 lands in the Yuan continent. How many experts and Emperor Realm experts are there? I'm afraid it's impossible to count. Then why did I hear that the evil spirit sect had harmed the Yuan continent and was destroyed by countless large forces in the Yuan continent? Many thoughts flashed through Lu Ming's mind. He was curious. He had heard that the evil spirit sect had a sect leader, 2 vice sect leaders, and 36 Dharma kings. They were all Emperor Realm experts. Such a force was indeed terrifying and incomparably terrifying. However, in the vast Yuan continent, it shouldn't be much, right? In the vast Yuan continent, there were so many Emperor Realm forces. If so many Emperor Realm experts joined forces, they could easily destroy the evil spirit sect, right? Perhaps it's because the Tsang state is remote and most people don't know enough. They think that the evil spirit sect is the most terrifying force in the Yuan continent. Chapter 1743. After all, Tsang State was just a small place in the vast Yuan continent. It was located in the distant Sea Mountain range with Cloud State and Emperor State. Most people in Song State did not know how big this world was or how many powerful factions there were outside of Song State. In their eyes, the Tsang Arch was the most powerful existence in the world. The evil spirit sect had dozens of emperor-level cultivators, so they naturally thought that the evil spirit sect was the most terrifying faction in Yuan continent. That was normal. Before Lu Ming went to the 100-race battlefield, he did not expect that there were so many emperor-level factions in Yuan continent. I can't go on like this. I don't know how long I have to fly. I have to find a teleportation array, or it will be too slow. Lu Ming pondered. However, only emperor-level factions could build teleportation arrays in Yuan continent. Let's go down and find out which emperor-level faction this is. Lu Ming had a plan. He put away the flying shuttle, stepped on the air, and landed in a big city. This is the Blood Jade State, which is ruled by the Blood Jade Palace. Isn't Su Ran a disciple of the Blood Jade Palace? Lu Ming's eyes lit up. Lu Ming and Su Ran had gotten to know each other after fighting in the 100-race battlefield. In the end, they had a feeling of mutual appreciation and had a good relationship. Later on, Su Ran was captured by the natives of the 100-race battlefield, and it was Lu Ming who saved him. Before they parted, Su Ran had also invited Lu Ming to come to the Blood Jade Palace to find him when he was free. Since this was the Blood Jade Palace's territory, he could find Su Ran and borrow the Blood Jade Palace's teleportation array to go to the ancient moon sacred ground. Lu Ming immediately asked about the direction of the Blood Jade Palace. Lu Ming flew there. Half a day later, Lu Ming arrived outside the Blood Jade Palace and sent a message to Su Ran. Not long after, he saw Su Ran flying out of the Blood Jade Palace. Haha, Lu Ming, I didn't expect you to really come looking for me. Su Ran laughed and was rather surprised. Su Ran, you've broken through to the Saint stage. Congratulations. Lu Ming sized up Su Ran and smiled faintly. What's there to congratulate? I'm afraid you've already become a saint, haven't you? Su Ran sized up Lu Ming and discovered that he could not see through Lu Ming's cultivation at all. I broke through to the saint realm not long ago. Lu Ming smiled. I knew it. You must have broken through to the saint realm. Oh right, aren't you in the Tsang continent? Why did he suddenly come to the Blood Jade Palace? It can't be that he came here just to see me, right? Su Ran smiled. It's a long story. Lu Ming sighed and said, the evil spirit sect has risen from the ashes. The remnants of the evil spirit sect have already occupied Song State, Emperor State, and Cloud State. I was forced to run away. What? Evil spirit? Su Ran's expression changed. Su Ran, how much do you know about evil spirit sect? Lu Ming asked. Su Ran was from an emperor-level faction, so he might know more about evil spirit sect than him. I'm not very sure either. I only know that evil spirit sect appeared out of nowhere 80,000 years ago. They have a sect master, 2 vice sect masters, and 36 law emperors. They are all emperor-level figures and are extremely powerful. Moreover, they specialize in killing emperor-level experts and prodigies with the potential to become emperors. In the ancient moon Holy Land, many factions paled at the mention of it. Most importantly, evil spirit sect is good at controlling people, so they are stronger than they appear on the surface. Back then, many powerful factions of the ancient moon Holy Land joined forces to eliminate evil spirit sect. I didn't expect evil spirit sect to rise from the ashes and do evil again. Su Ran frowned. I'm here to go to the ancient moon Holy Land and ask the powerful factions of the ancient moon Holy Land to eliminate the remnants of evil spirit sect. Lu Ming said, Oh, it just so happens that I'm going to the ancient moon Holy Land soon. We can go together. However, Lu Ming, don't have too much hope about asking for help from the ancient moon Holy Land. Su Ran said, Why? Since evil spirit sect was so dangerous, how could the powerful factions of the ancient moon Holy Land ignore it? The ancient moon Holy Land is divided. Although there are many powerful factions, the competition between them is extremely fierce. They probably have no time to care about other things and may not send many emperor-level figures to help you. Back then, it was also because evil spirit sect angered the powerful factions of the ancient moon Holy Land that they were besieged by them. Su Ran said. So that's how it is. Lu Ming frowned. He also understood that all factions prioritize their own interests. As long as their own interests were not harmed, they would not interfere. But no matter how difficult it was, he still had to try. If he could ask the powerful factions of the ancient Moon Holy Land to help, he would be able to rescue Valley Master Cloud Dragon and the others sooner. Lu Ming, you don't have to be discouraged. I will report this matter to the higher-ups. I can't decide what they will do. Su Ran said. Many thanks. Lu Ming cupped his fists. It's just a small matter. Lu Ming, let's go. Stay in Bloodjade Palace for a few days. After 2 days, I will go with you to the ancient Moon Holy Land. Su Ran said. Lu Ming nodded and entered Bloodjade Palace with Su Ran. Su Ran's status in Bloodjade Palace was very high. After arranging a courtyard for Lu Ming, he went to report the matter of Evil Spirit Sect. 2 days later, Su Ran came to find Lu Ming and said that he had already reported the matter of Evil Spirit Sect. Bloodjade Palace's Martial Emperor already knew, but he did not know what the Martial Emperor would do. Lu Ming nodded. Indeed, only a Martial Emperor could interfere in this matter. As for how the Martial Emperor would decide, they could not interfere. Lu Ming, let's go to the ancient Moon Holy Land. Recently, I heard that the Jade Lake Saintess of the ancient Moon Holy Land has appeared and intends to choose a Tao Protector. The prodigies of the various factions around the ancient Moon Holy Land have already moved. During this period, the ancient Moon Holy Land will probably be very lively. Su Ran said with an expectant look. Jade Lake Saintess? Lu Ming was puzzled. He knew nothing about the ancient Moon Holy Land. Yes, the Jade Lake is a very special force. They are all women, and each of them is an outstanding beauty. Especially the Saintesses, they are as beautiful as fairies. Every 20 years, the Jade Lake will produce a batch of Saintesses. This time, there are a total of 9 Saintesses. It is said that each of them is as beautiful as a fairy, like a goddess who has descended to the mortal world. Moreover, they are extremely talented and have profound cultivation. If they can become a Tao Protector, wouldn't it be a wonderful thing? Su Ran's eyes were already shining as he spoke. Lu Ming smiled slightly. How could he be in the mood to look at beauties now? Immediately, Lu Ming and Su Ran walked toward Bloodjade Palace's teleportation array. Stepping into the teleportation array, they left Bloodjade Palace. Not long after, they appeared in an ancient city. This was not the ancient Moon Holy Land, but an ancient city outside the ancient Moon Holy Land. The various Emperor-level factions could not teleport directly into the ancient Moon Holy Land. They could only teleport to the ancient city outside the ancient Moon Holy Land and then set off from the ancient city to the ancient Moon Holy Land. Lu Ming and Su Ran did not stay in the ancient city and flew directly to the ancient Moon Holy Land. Chapter 1744. At the peak of the tallest mountain stood an enormous stone tablet that was 30,000 meters tall. There were mysterious runes circulating on the stone tablet, and it emitted a screen of light that divided the heavens and the earth into 2 halves, isolating them from the outside world. That's the boundary steel. The ancient Moon Holy Ground is a cultivation holy ground with rich origin chi. Legend has it that a long time ago, the powerful forces of the ancient Moon Holy Ground worked together to create 108 boundary steels and place them around the ancient Moon Holy Ground to isolate it from the outside world. This is to prevent the origin chi from leaking out and affecting the ancient Moon Holy Ground. Su Ran seemed to know the ancient Moon Holy Ground very well. Seeing Lu Ming's confusion, he explained. The boundary steel can only isolate the origin chi of heaven and earth. It won't hinder living beings from entering and exiting. Let's go in. Su Ran continued. The 2 of them stepped into the air. When they passed through the light curtain, there was no obstruction at all. The light curtain rippled like water as the 2 of them passed through. Such rich origin chi. Once they passed through the light curtain, Lu Ming felt that the origin chi inside the light curtain was several times richer than outside. Moreover, the comprehension of the laws of heaven and earth seemed to be clearer here. As expected of a cultivation holy ground, the cultivation environment is so much better than outside. Separated by a light curtain, It's a completely different world. Lu Ming exclaimed in surprise. The ancient moon holy ground's territory is vast, larger than many large provinces. However, the forces that can establish their own sects and take root in the ancient moon holy ground are extremely powerful forces. Without strength, it's impossible to gain a foothold in such a holy ground. For example, the Emperor-level forces outside the holy ground are not qualified to establish their own sects in the ancient moon holy ground. Because of their lack of strength, they will be expelled by the powerful forces of the ancient moon holy ground. Su Ran said. Lu Ming was secretly shocked. If even Emperor-level forces couldn't establish their own sects in the ancient moon holy ground, then how strong was the ancient moon holy ground? Su Ran had been to the ancient moon holy ground before and was familiar with the place. He led the way as the two chatted. Not long after, a vast expanse of buildings appeared in front of them. Although he was far away, Lu Ming could still see that there were people coming and going among the buildings. It was very lively. This is one of the buildings in the ancient moon holy ground. There are many powerful forces in the ancient moon holy ground. There are many disciples and cultivators from outside the ancient moon holy ground. These people will gather here to buy treasures and other things. It's very lively, Su Ran said. Lu Ming nodded. This building complex was like a city. It was just that there were no city walls. The two of them flew forward and landed. They discovered that the streets here were crisscrossed with shops like a forest. The two of them strolled along the streets. So many experts. Lu Ming swept his gaze and was secretly shocked. He found Saint Chi Lin Ming Chi said people. Each and every one of them had a strong aura, and their blood was like fire. Saint might filled the air, and many of them were actually saints. Even if the others were not sages, they were at least half sages. The weakest among them was a high-ranked martial monarch. Saints were considered experts in Tsang state, but here, they could be seen everywhere. 1. Lu Ming sighed. There were many powerful sects in the ancient moon holy land, and there were probably countless saints in these sections. After all, there were 13 top sects in the Tsang state, as well as many small and medium-sized forces. Adding them all together, there were quite a number of saint stage experts. However, even if the entire Tsang state was added together, it still wouldn't be able to match up to an emperor-level force. However, any force in the ancient moon holy land was much stronger than an emperor-level force. One could only imagine how many saints there were. In addition, outside of the ancient moon holy ground, many emperor-level forces had sent masters to the ancient moon holy ground. It was not surprising that there were many masters here. Lu Ming found that even the waiter standing in front of the shop was a half-saint, which made Lu Ming speechless. So many sacred weapons. After browsing through a few shops, Lu Ming discovered that the items being sold outside were all sage weapons. There were even great sage weapons and paramount sage weapons. There were also all kinds of precious treasures, which dazzled Lu Ming. Lu Ming asked around in a shop if there were any paramount sage true dragon bones or paramount sage true dragon blood essence. He didn't expect that there would be such things, but the price was ridiculously high. Lu Ming had once killed 2 paramount sage experts in the Sky Universe Demon sect with the reincarnation halberd and obtained their storage rings. He was quite rich, but he found that he couldn't afford paramount sage true dragon bones and paramount sage true dragon blood essence. It was too expensive. True dragons, even among the thousands of divine beasts, stood at the top of the pyramid. Moreover, they were very rare, especially those at the paramount sage level. Naturally, their prices were shockingly high. Lu Ming was speechless. He thought that he was quite rich, but when he came to the ancient moon holy land, he found that he had become a pauper. In the end, Lu Ming bought some spiritual liquid to water the enlightenment ancient tree. Then, he and Su Ran found an inn to stay in. They would settle down here first, and then find an opportunity to meet the powerful forces of the ancient moon holy land. Lu Ming thought of Huang Ling and Yi Dongfang. They were in the ancient moon holy land, but the ancient moon holy land was very big. He had just arrived and didn't know where their sects were. It was too far away, and it was difficult to send a message. Lu Ming, in 7 days, the Jade Lake Saintess will appear and look for a protector. At that time, there will be many geniuses. Maybe you can meet Yi Dongfang and the others. This was Su Ran's suggestion. Lu Ming nodded. Indeed, even if he didn't meet Huang Ling and the others, as long as he met someone he knew from the 100-tribe battlefield, things would be much easier. After entering the room of the inn, Lu Ming entered the mountain river diagram. With a flash of light, Bubble rushed into Lu Ming's arms. Big brother Lu Ming, Bubble is so bored here. Chirp chirp. Bubbles pouted her little mouth and said, Bubble, be good. I'll take you out in a few days. Lu Ming patted Bubbles' little head. Okay. Chirp chirp. Bubbles jumped up happily and skipped to the side to cultivate. Lu Ming came to the Enlightenment ancient tree and sat down cross-legged. Then, a saint weapon appeared in his hand. It was a great saint weapon. He planned to cultivate the 10,000 weapon art. During this period, Lu Ming had been focused on comprehending the chaotic finger of calamity. He had neglected the 10,000 weapon art. In the Tsang state, he had obtained the storage rings of several absolute saints. There were many great saint weapons in them, and they could be sealed in the acupuncture points of his body. Lu Ming didn't plan to seal ordinary great saint weapons into his body for the time being. After all, the improvement was limited. If he wanted to seal something, he would seal a great saint weapon. Lu Ming's body glowed as he began to seal the great saint weapons. Great saint weapons were powerful, but the burden on the body was also very heavy. You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.